in Dublin 2 weeks ago, now has the grand final underway.
Change to the team that lost after extra time to Croatia on Wednesday. Justin Bijlo retains his place in goal. The back four is also the same. It's Denzel Dumfries, 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, Virgil van Dijk, who captains the side, and Nathan Ake. The one change comes on the wing, with Noah Lang coming in for 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, which means it will be a 4-3-3 system that the Netherlands are operating. So it's Mats Wiefer, Frankie de Jong, and Xavi Simons who drops back into the midfield three, and up front it's Cody Gakpo, Daniel Malen, and Noah Lang. Substitutes for the Netherlands this afternoon then: Koop Meiners, as well as Steven Bergwijn, Jorginho Wijnaldum, Martin de Roon, Tiro Malacia, Wout Weghorst, Julian Timber, Daley Blind, Mark Flecken, Sven Botman, Joey Veerman, and Andries Noppert. Italy, however, have rung the changes. They lost 2-1 in midweek to Spain in their semi-final, and only 4 players retained their places in the starting lineup. So 7 coming in, including a debut for the Torino centre-back Alessandro Buongiorno. So it's Donnarumma in goal, Rafael Toloi, Francesco Acerbi, Alessandro Buongiorno, and Federico Di Marco. On the back four, the midfield three are Davide Frastesi, Brian Cristante, and Marco Verratti. And up front, Wilfried Gnonto, Matteo Retregui, and Giacomo Raspadori. That means that Leonardo Bonucci, Giovanni Di Lorenzo, Jorginho, Nicolo Barella, Leonardo Spinazzola, Nicolo Zaniolo, and Ciro Immobile all drop to the bench, where they are joined by Matteo Darmian, Federico Chiesa, Lorenzo Pellegrini, Alex Merritt, and Guglielmo Vicario. National anthems have concluded. Players just going through the pre-match handshakes and all the other formalities ahead of the game. We've got pretty much a full house in the 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 this afternoon. It's close to 30,000 capacity. Final, of course, will be taking place this evening between Croatia and Spain at De Kuip in Rotterdam. The referee this afternoon is from Sweden. It's Glenn Nyberg. His assistants are also from Sweden. That's Mahbod Beigi and Andreas Söderqvist. The fourth official is from Estonia, Christo Tova. And on VAR duty, we have Bartosz Frankowski and his assistant Pavel Skit, both from Poland. These two sides, plenty of history between them. They've met 23 times in all competitions, and quite amazingly, the Netherlands have only won 3 of those. They have met twice. They have won twice, I should say, over 6 UEFA official matches. 3 wins for Italy. The last time they met, 3 years ago, also in the Nations League, but in the group phases. That won a 1-1 draw. Donny van der Beek on the score sheet for the Netherlands that day. He's not involved this afternoon, and Lorenzo Pellegrini scoring for the Italians. Of course, the Dutch have silver medals in the Nations League to their name. They were runners-up in the very first finals back in 2019. They lost to the hosts Portugal. And Italy, they didn't have much luck when they hosted the finals a couple of years ago. They also went out in the semi-final stage, and in fact it was the exact same scoreline, the exact same side. They lost 2-1 to Spain in Milan almost 2 years ago now. And we are just about ready to get things underway. The Netherlands all in their traditional orange, and Italy for the second time this week are wearing their change kit of all white. The referee just going through the last checks, and he blows his whistle. We are underway. As I look at things, the Netherlands are kicking off, going from left to right. Immediately they try to play the ball down their left wing. It's cleared away and goes out of play for a Dutch throw-in just inside their own half, which Nathan Ake has taken. The ball has worked its way back to Virgil van Dijk, who's got plenty of space at the edge of his own box. Finds Ake again. Oh, and a poor touch there by Simons out wide. and Italy will have a chance to have their first meaningful possession of the game. Play it back to their unfamiliar centre-back partnership of 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 and 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓲 is taking a touch. Trying to skip away from Lang and Gakpo. Up to 𝓳𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Back now with 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. He spreads it right across to Rafael Toloi. Forward he goes, trying to pick out a man. And it's been well shepherded out of play. It's going to be throw-in over on the far side. Last touch off a Dutch player, and the Italians have already got on with things, and they're working their way down the left wing again. Ball over the top into the middle now, looking for a 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷 up there, but nothing doing. Netherlands able to get enough players back around the ball and play it back to their goalkeeper Justin 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷. So we've had a minute and a half gone. 0-0 between Netherlands and Italy in this bronze medal match in the UEFA Nations League. Van Dijk forward to De Jong. De Jong turns well, gets away from his man. And Xavi Simons comes forward for the Netherlands now. This is a good attacking opportunity for the Dutch. They've moved out to the left wing now. Crossing opportunity, overcomes the ball, but it's a poor one, easily turned away by 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Back out to Ake now. Forward to De Jong. Wide of him is Noah Lang.
The interesting thing for Italy, playing without Jorginho and bringing 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 in. Normally Jorginho is the player that really controls this Italian team with and without the ball. So 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 being a different type of player.
Head of a teammate, and it was Dumfries who won the corner in the first place, who got his head to that one, but he got well underneath it. Fairly good contact there from Dumfries. He had to really reach for that one. It was a difficult one to get over, and as a result his header goes high over the crossbar, and it will be a goal kick for Donnarumma to take. Bit of a false start with that one, and in fact I think it was Gakpo who was outside the area, so it was a bit of confusion here as to what the referee wants. Italians didn't know if it was their free kick or a goal kick again. Donnarumma eventually does take the goal kick again, and Italy try to play their way out of trouble, and this is what led to the first Spanish goal in midweek. Here's Leonardo Bonucci getting caught out, allowing Yeremy Pino to score the opening goal. But that was only in the 3rd minute of the game. They've managed to get to 4 minutes gone so far, and they've still held out for 0-0. Virgil van Dijk goes across the field looking for Malen, but he can't keep that one in play. Italy wasting their time taking the throw-in, I should say. Back now with Donnarumma. 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 wide to Toloi. Forward looking for Gnonto. And it's almost the Dutch managed to steal in there and rob Italy of possession, but nothing doing with it. And this is better now from Italy. They're up to the halfway line. They've got space in front of them. Lovely ball threaded through into the area. They go, over comes the cross, and Van Dijk had to be there to turn that one away. In fact, it's not out of trouble yet. Italy trying to recycle. And eventually it deflects off 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓼 and out of play it goes for an Italian throw-in. But that was really nice build-up play. Cristante and 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 involved there for Italy. Lovely ball threaded through, and the low cross came in, but Van Dijk was back in a good position to turn things away. Italy building again now on the right-hand side. Gnonto in field for 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, but he leaves that one. It's 𝓳𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓬𝓷 overcomes the cross, Half cleared by 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. It's fallen to Gnonto. This one's still alive for Italy. Another one cross comes in, and the attempt, the bicycle kick has been completely missed. Still alive. The shot comes in, and it's 1-0. 6 minutes on the clock, and Italy have taken the lead. And it's 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 up from the back, found himself in attacking position, and a really clean strike with his left foot. First Italy 1-0 ahead. One of the many changes that Roberto Mancini has made to his side. Scores just his second goal in the Azzurri Blu, in just his 10th cap. 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓷𝓷𝓰 went for the audacious bicycle kick, completely missed it, and 𝓳𝓲𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 had the awareness around him, just with the back flick perfectly into the path of 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, who just took one touch to control it and then thrashed. In fact, it was with his first touch, I apologise, it was his first touch, just leathered that one past 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. And the fullback has put Italy 1-0 up in this third place match in the UEFA Nations League finals. Netherlands 0, Italy 1. And as the Dutch try to get things moving and try to respond, they lose possession, and then Gnonto is fouled. 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 out of position there, and just bit of an awkward, fairly clumsy challenge there, just inside his own half. Gnonto causing the Dutch a few problems. Italy managing to keep hold of possession well on the left wing. This is nice again. 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 involved. He tries to go wide to Gnonto, but his pass was under hit, and 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 was able to intercept. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 is involved. De Jong as well. Looking for options, finds 𝓣𝓱𝓪, who plays it back to Van Dijk.
Attention
again
business
now to
owners.
De Jong over halfway. This is better build-up from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Noah Lang trying to run through a couple of Italian defenders, but eventually just runs out of room and gets dispossessed. Gnonto. Back now with Toloi. He puts his foot through one, only up to halfway, where Van Dijk keeps things moving for the Dutch. Gnonto again. Toloi in a little bit more space this time, decides to use his goalkeeper. And Donnarumma clears it away first time, but still possession falling back into Dutch hands quite comfortably. Lang again. Infield. De Jong. Wider now to Dumfries. Malen. 𝓣𝓱𝓪 involved as well on the right hand side for the Netherlands. Forced back now with 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷 and Van Dijk. Combining with Ake. Gakpo coming deep. Plays the ball back to Van Dijk once more. Now he goes cross field. That one a better effort from the Liverpool man. Malen's pass can't quite find 𝓣𝓱𝓪, and Italy able to win it back. Keeping the ball on the floor. They've got a man down, but no foul, says the referee. Buongiorno. Short pass back. Cristante involved, and Verratti as well. Acerbi. Italy still well inside their own half, but building up the passes nonetheless. And now Gnonto goes all the way back to Donnarumma, and they build again. Buongiorno. Being put under plenty of pressure by Gakpo and Simons as well, but they've done well. He's over halfway now as he received the pass back from his teammates. Buongiorno. Now he retreats back into position. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Verratti as well. Toloi forward to Gnonto. Just being moved from one side of the pitch to the other by Italy. This is excellent. They're really using the space. They've switched it again now. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Cross comes in. It's just beyond the man coming in. It was 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓷𝓷𝓰 who just couldn't get his head onto that one. But it's been sumptuous attacking play by Italy. Fantastic watch of the first 10 minutes, and they've deserved the lead. The Dutch able to put them under quite a bit of pressure when they have the ball in their own half. But nonetheless, Italy have controlled the first 10 minutes and they lead by a goal to nil. Throw in taken by 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Takes the 1-2 with Virgil van Dijk. Tries to clear it away. It's all a bit scrappy at the moment, and it's fallen now to 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, back with Verratti. Cristante as well, tries to thread one through. Now Raspadori. Verratti goes across the field looking for Gnonto. Right to his feet, good control. Gnonto running at 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷. Now in field. Bit of a heavy touch though, and the Dutch able to win possession back, but for a matter of seconds. In fact, there was a foul. Foul committed against Xavi Simons. Brian Cristante, the guilty man. And there will be a chance for the Netherlands to relieve the pressure that they've been under so far. Virgil van Dijk, 20 yards inside his own half. Now it goes forward to 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, out wide now to Malen. Tries to link up with Gakpo. Cross comes over from Malen, but it's been well cleared. 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 in the right place there, not under too much pressure. Clears it out for a throw from the side it came. Gakpo takes it to 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Takes it back to Virgil van Dijk, who's in the centre, just a couple of yards inside the Italian half. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. He's got the run of Dumfries, decided not to use him, uses Malen instead. But his pass straight to Buongiorno, who plays it to Donnarumma, who's able to clear it away. And it's back with Virgil van Dijk once more, this time 15 yards or so inside his own half. He uses Ake again. Simons and De Jong involved. Now 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷. Again, he goes wide to Malen. He decides against a run. Plays it back to Denzel Dumfries. Frankie De Jong again. Very patient build-up from the Dutch this time. This has been one of their longest spells of possession. Dumfries into 𝓣𝓱𝓪. Across to De Jong. Facing his own goal. 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷 wide to Dumfries again on the right. Trying to link up with Malen. And just about does so. Good play by the Dutch. Dumfries is into the area. Tries to cross it low and it's turned away. Can they keep it in play? Yes, they... Dimarco got back there to prevent it going out for a corner, and then he just stumbled or got his feet into a bit of a muddle and accidentally played the ball out. He did the hard part there, Dimarco, getting back and preventing the corner, and then he went and gave one away. So, the second quarter of the afternoon for the Netherlands.
Yeah, it's good commanding goalkeeping from Donnarumma. There was one or two appeals as well from the initial corner into the box from Dutch players. A handball against an Italian defender. Just looking at the replay there, clearly the ball didn't strike anyone's hand. It came off the back. Although, as I say that, Holland have now got themselves a free kick. And Dimarco pretty clearly there in front of the referee, looking to control the ball midway inside his own half with his left arm.
Yeah, I mean, it was in such space as well. If he'd actually been able to control that, I mean, they were 2-on-2 at the back. The Dutch defence was very, very open there. They were playing a real risky game there of a press that didn't come off when Donnarumma's pass found Dimarco. So we'll see if that pattern continues. Here's Noah Lang again, just dropping back and finding De Jong in midfield. And actually it's played out to Dumfries. He's going to go into 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷 facing his own goal, though, has to play it back to 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷, the goalkeeper. He's not mentioned him so far. He's not had to make a save, but he's had to pick the ball out of the back of his own net as he gets another back pass. Italy not pressing really. They're just holding their positions, trying to go one-on-one with the opposite number in the Dutch side. And now they can build from the back as there's a bit of space for 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓬𝓚 to run into. Yet the Azzurri all sort of back off in midfield. He plays it square to Dumfries, and now it's down the line. We'll turn there, doesn't quite come off, and it goes out for a throw-in. That was 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷, who's on the right-hand side of a 3 in midfield. 4-3-3 is the almost obligatory formation for the Dutch. I think only Louis van Gaal has had the temerity to tinker with it in the last 20 years. But Ron Koeman's definitely a 4-3-3 man. He's a company man. He knows what the system is and he plays it. As 𝓤𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 just backpedals and heads a ball out for a throw-in on the left-hand side.
Yeah, the game just settling down a bit. We haven't really had too many chances, have we, other than 𝓤𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰's goal that has put Italy in front. The pattern seems to be the Dutch dominating possession, sitting inside Italy's half, but just lacking that real penetration. Yes, they've managed to get a couple of crosses into the box, force a couple of corners, but next to nothing really for Donnarumma to do in the Italy goal, and defenders certainly haven't been overstretched in front of him. It's pretty comfortable at the moment for Italy.
Yeah, as they just let that attempted forward pass dribble out for a goal kick, and well, he's got a slightly unhappy look on his face, squinting into the afternoon sun there, Ronald Koeman, but he's probably squinting in disbelief at how poor his side have been at creating opportunities in the opening 17 minutes.
Yeah, he won't be happy with what he's seen so far. I mean, the Dutch were actually second best against Croatia, weren't they? Arguably fortunate to take it to extra time in the semi-final, and they're just struggling to get going and find that spark, which is surprising given the players they've got out there. Your Gakpos, your Langs, your Mellons. There's lots of speedy, creative players you'd think would want to be stamping their authority or attempting to stamp their authority on this game to make sure they're more regular features in the starting 11 going forward.
Here come the Netherlands down the left. Noah Lang plays it in field, then 𝓤𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰's passes initially cut out. Italy got numbers back there in a low block and they defend well before 𝓤𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 clears. Tegi can't hold it up and it's eventually smuggled back to 𝓤𝓸𝓲𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷, who's just outside his own penalty area. Netherlands back in possession with De Jong of Barcelona. Now Ake, Champions League winner just a couple of weeks ago. Probably didn't party as hard as some of the other players in this squad though. Thinking of you, Jack Grealish. I don't think anybody partied as hard as Jack Grealish, to be honest.
No, he was straight in the team, wasn't he, as well, for the semi-final. Ake on the Wednesday, so was that 3 or 4 days after the final? Rodri as well for Spain the following night. So
he was excellent again, Rodri. Though.
He was. You know, these players able to quickly switch back on. I mean, you could argue the Nations League has a bit more greater importance than perhaps just a regular qualifier, but these players going straight back in and putting decent performances as well.
Yeah. This is a third-place playoff. You wonder in the years to come, will we remember the result of this game? But we'll bring you the situation as it unfolds, as Gakpo travels well with the ball and moves it out to the left-hand side. Simons, though, with a loose layoff, is intercepted by Cristante, and now they're looking for a foul here, Italy, which isn't coming. Dutch have it back. 𝓤𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 feeding Marlon. Marlon pirouettes and then tries to flick it back inside, but 𝓤𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷 had overrun the ball. Now there's a counter-attack chance for Italy, and it's 𝓤𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷 again leading the charge. Down the left-hand side, he cuts back in field and draws a foul from 𝓤𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Wins Italy a free kick. Yeah,
it's a lazy challenge from 𝓤𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰's two Inter Milan teammates there. I mean, 𝓤𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰's going nowhere. He's literally had to turn back round and he's heading towards the halfway line, and he's grateful for 𝓤𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 just to bring it down. Italy to gather possession once again, but the Italian game plan for me is working a lot better. More
space for 𝓤𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, who's run off the ball from this free kick. He's perfect. He tries to cut it back edge of the box. Could be a chance here for 𝓚aspadori. He's knocked off the ball by 𝓤𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷. The ball still might fall low, and he's put in the back of the net. Italy have got 2-0 up. It's Fratesi who slotted it home. The ball cannoned off a Dutch defender. 𝓚aspadori was involved again. There could be a goal check here because it looked a little bit untidy, but Fratesi didn't ask for a second chance. He just slotted it home, and now we'll see whether the referees and the VAR officials decide it's not a goal.
Yeah, there's two possibilities. Was Fratesi offside first of all, and did he control it with his hand? Maybe even was 𝓤𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷 at the start of the move offside. Doesn't look like he is. He pulls it back. 𝓚aspadori wants too much time on the edge of the area. He gets fortunate that the ball eventually ricochets the way of Fratesi. He's onside. Yeah. Clearly 𝓤𝓸𝓲𝓷 is playing him on. Pretty lazy from 𝓤𝓸𝓲𝓷.
It's the handball, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think
that's the one. 𝓤𝓸𝓲𝓷 should be pushing out, should be trying to play him offside, doesn't. It's whether the ball, when Gnonto's shot deflects the way of Fratesi, does it hit the chest of the number 7 or does it come off his arm? We'll have a bit of more of a scrutinise on that. VAR certainly. Well, it's a good finish from Fratesi as 𝓤𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷 tries to come out and snuff out the danger. Good finish, good goal. At the moment, Italy are 2-0 up. It's just whether did that ball strike the hand of 𝓲𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰?
Well, he had a goal disallowed, didn't he, against Spain in the semi-final for 𝓲𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷. It was offside that was judged against him there when he was only a fraction off. He seemed really harsh at the time, and Italy, who had been behind to that goal, you mentioned the horrendous mistake between Bonucci and Donnarumma. Well, they got back on terms. 𝓲𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷 thought he put them ahead in that game before the VAR official, after a long delay, ruled it out for offside. This one would be handball if it isn't given. He's pointing to his chest, though. He looked confident here.
Yeah, I think it did come off his chest on the few replays we have seen. Maybe the top of the chest getting towards the shoulder, but I'm inclined to suggest that this goal should stand for 𝓲𝓲𝓷𝓲. As you mentioned, that goal ruled out against Spain didn't count. This would be his first international goal, the Sassuolo midfielder. If it does count, still we're waiting for VAR's decision. All eyes of the players and us watching on, looking towards the referee.
I had a VAR check on the game I did yesterday, which lasted about 8 minutes, and it felt longer as well. The cameras were just showing shots of the crowd. It was Northern Ireland against Denmark, and the crowd were like, "What's going on here?" And even the referee was like, "Why is it taking so long?" And eventually, poor old Callum Marshall, who was on his debut for Northern Ireland, young West Ham player, thought he'd scored, and after about, like I say, 8-9 minutes, he got ruled out for a very marginal offside on Johnny Evans's boot.
Yeah, that was very time. I remember seeing that as a first. I thought, first of all, was it for a foul? But no, it looks like the goal is going to stand. The referee has pointed to the spot, so
good news.
You're not quite an 8 or 9 minute stoppage, maybe a minute or two on this occasion.
There was a lot to check there, wasn't there?
There is.
There was 2 offsides and a handball, so I'm sure, each one of those they have to check at several replays for each one.
Yeah, and just looking, we had a good replay of it there. It seems to hit the stomach of 𝓲𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷 in the end. He just manages to pull that right arm out the way, or certainly that's what VAR have eventually judged, but he won't care. First international goal for him, and more importantly from an Italy point of view, they lead 2-0.
Yeah, could it be an unassailable lead? Well, because of that check, we've gone past the midway point of the first half. It is Netherlands 0, Italy 2, take through to half-time. Tom McGarry.
Yeah, thank you very much. Those goals from DiMarco and 𝓲𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷 putting Roberto Mancini's side in a pretty commanding position in this third place playoff. The Dutch have had the majority of the possession, tried to dictate the play, but Italy have had much more of an attacking threat when they've looked to break forward on the counter-attack, and the game plan of Roberto Mancini for the time being has been working a lot better than that of Ronald Koeman's. There's a scrap for the ball in the middle of the park. It eventually breaks the way of the Italians. Raspadori to clip the ball over the top. 𝓲𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷's made the run, and this ball will just carry through into Justin Bijlouw's goal, but the Dutch are going to have to regroup, and perhaps Ronald Koeman's are going to have to go to plan B, because at the moment plan A hasn't been working.
No, it's Italy's tactics have worked like a treat, really. The 2 up front, or 𝓲𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷 up front is a useful target man, but Raspadori's making some good runs off him as well, and combining well. It's really shaping up nicely for Italy at the moment.
It is, but the Dutch are in possession at the moment. De Jong pulls it into the feet of 𝓲𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷, who works it out to Dumfries on the right-hand side. Feeds it back infield. It's a nice turn from Cody Gakpo, who tries to feed it back into Dumfries, who continued his run into the penalty area. DiMarco cuts it out, then he gives it away. Ake finds Lang, whose touch was lacking, but there is a chance now for Dumfries. Oh, it looked like there was going to be a chance for Dumfries in the penalty area. He was found by Xavi Simons, but the referee has already blown his whistle. Not quite sure what's for, whether that's an offside or a foul in the build-up, but either way, that promising Dutch attack comes to an end.
Yeah, as he controlled it, the ball came off his foot and then just raised up to his hand. The referee had a good view. So, yeah, they were in trouble there, though, Italy, weren't they? Because Dumfries was in acres, and they seemingly stopped marking on that side. DiMarco, you mentioned how good he is as an attacking sense. Just go to sleep a bit defensively, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's an 8 or 9 out of 10 going forward, and maybe a 3 or 4 out of 10 certainly in this game so far defensively. That is an area of the pitch with the pace and power of Dumfries that the Dutch can look to try and exploit if they are to try and work their way back into this game. Just over 25 minutes played. It's Netherlands 0, Italy 2 in this Nations League third place playoff. Italy looking to come forward again. Raspadori spotting Gnonto in space on the right hand side, and he's found the Leeds United winger, who's held up by Nathan Ake, but looks to deliver a low cross into the box that's rather hacked away in quite panic fashion from Virgil van Dijk behind for a corner.
Yeah, Gnonto's doing a good job for his team as well on that side, keeping the width. tracking back as well. And mentioned players that could be on the move this summer. He's definitely, I think, on the way out of Leeds, isn't he? I don't think there's going to be any doubt about that.
Yeah, he's had a fantastic first season in English football. Didn't actually get that much game time towards the end of the campaign, but he certainly caught the eye when he did feature in the first team at Elland Road, and he's impressed in his international career so far as well, Willie Gnonto. Just the 1 goal in 10. Well, this is his 11th appearance now, but he's certainly been a threat when I've seen him in an Italy shirt, as 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 prepares to take this in-swinging corner from the right-hand side, right underneath the goalkeeper. 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 has to have a flap the ball clear. Italy can keep the attack alive with 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 down the left. It's another searching ball into the box, this time dealt with effectively by Van Dijk. It'll break though to 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 on the edge of the area.
Oh.
What an effort that is from 𝓳𝓸𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, as that ended up on the roof of just in 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰's vicious whipping left foot effort. He was coming back across from right to left after taking the corner. Oh, that's inches over the top.
Yeah, I don't think 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷 was going to get to that. The Italian Trent Alexander-Arnold almost made it through.
Yeah, fantastic strike from 𝓳𝓸𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. He certainly provides plenty of entertainment when he's on the field. Maybe he can become an inverted central midfielder like Alexander-Arnold seems to be doing at the moment for both club and country. But certainly 𝓳𝓸𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 having an influence on this game so far. The Dutch, though, to try and get themselves back into this game. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷, not for the first time stepping into midfield, the Feyenoord man, just his 3rd international appearance, part of the Feyenoord team, along with 𝓣𝓱 in midfield at the Eredivisie this season. De Jong now walks the ball across to Virgil van Dijk, and now Nathan Ake on the halfway line on the left-hand side for the Dutch. Clips a searching ball over the top. Lang is onside, he collects, works onto his right foot. Deep ball in towards Marlon, but too high for the Dortmund forward, and that will go behind for a goal kick. And again, those kinds of crosses into the box from a Dutch point of view aren't going to work when you've got 5'6", 5'7" players in the middle.
And it's a cross from a winger to a winger. You know, it's not a cross from a winger to a centre forward. The centre forward's probably not even in the penalty area when Noah Lang puts that cross in, because he's trying to get involved in the build-up. Cody Gakpo, we know he's not a centre forward, but he's so deep that, you know, it's up to the other winger really to be more of a target. When one winger's got it, the other winger's got to get in the centre, not hang out towards the back post. Yeah,
there's not really been any midfield runners has there either, as we're going to have a drinks break in this game. Temperatures pretty hot in the Netherlands, but we've not seen, probably Xavi Simons is the one of those midfield three who would be expected to make those runs into the box, but there's no one really getting in there in an orange shirt. And maybe Ronald Koeman during this cooling break can take the opportunity to get words onto his players, perhaps tinker with 1 or 2 things, because I mentioned it before, plan A just doesn't really seem to be working.
Well, that's absolutely right there. You know, Xavi Simons has got to run on, hasn't he? He's got to burst past Cody Gakpo, so when he drops into the hole, then Xavi Simons got to realise that there's space beyond Gakpo to run into. I mean, he finished, joint top scorer in the Eredivisie this past season, didn't he? You know, for a midfielder, that is some feat, but he's obviously got it in his game to get into the box and score goals.
Yeah, I'm just looking, I don't know quite as much about Mats 𝓣𝓱 as 1 or 2 of the other players in the engine room for the Dutch. 1 goal in 25 games for Feyenoord this season just gone, 5 in 65 before that for Excelsior, so he's not really the attack-minded midfielder that you'd expect to make those runs into the area. So the onus really is on Simons to try and get forward in support. Again, we don't know exactly how Ronald Koeman is wanting this to play out. Is he wanting Cody Gakpo to be staying up there, acting as the number 9, holding things up, and maybe he's not happy with Gakpo dropping in? We don't know. It doesn't seem to be working for the Dutch at the moment. And if you're Italy, you know, by the odd defensive lapse from DiMarco, shall we say, they've looked pretty comfortable.
Yeah, I've just seen his goal again on replay, and it really was a brilliant back heel from 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓷𝓷𝓷𝓷, because he didn't have to adjust his stride. You know, the ball just came straight to his left foot. He just lashed it, you know, through the ball and beat 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. And then the second goal was again a bit of a mess from the Dutch point of view, but 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓷𝓷𝓰 was involved in that as well, because he got the last Italian touch before Frattesi scored.
Yeah, it was slightly fortunate, the second one from 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓷𝓷𝓰, because he probably should have been getting
He won't get an assist for that, will he?
No, the first one though, it's a brilliant assist. It's kind of similar kind of goal to the winner for Scotland last night against Norway, when Lyndon Dykes laid the ball off to the on-rushing Kenny McLean. He finished with his right foot as DiMarco went with his left, but slight similarities to those 2 goals, as play has resumed following the cooling break. We've gone beyond the 30-minute mark. The Netherlands 0, Italy 2 in this Nations League 3rd place playoff. Dutch really try and get things going. Well, they won't like that because 𝓣𝓱𝓪 has lost the ball and Italy are able to carry it forward. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 involved there. That's a poor ball from him, though, easily cut out by 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷, and now there might be a chance for the Dutch to break forward. It's a driving run through the middle from Simons. He tries, I think he was looking to slip it through to 𝓣𝓱𝓪, perhaps just carried the ball a little too far. Italy were able to get defenders back and eventually snuff the danger out.
Well, they're ex-teammates, aren't they? I mean, 𝓣𝓱𝓪 was a PSV teammate of Simons before he moved on to Liverpool. But looks like there's no understanding there at all. I mean, Simons is driving on with the ball. 𝓣𝓱𝓪's like, play me in, and it just never came.
Yeah, it's poor, really, from an attacking point of view for the Dutch. Not really any of that quartet in the final third has clicked into gear so far in this game as they look to start an attack again, the hosts. It's Virgil van Dijk inside the centre circle, out to 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Now towards Noah Lang on the left-hand side, who's looking to combine with Simons. Lang now flicks it back in towards Xavi Simons, who is at least getting a bit more on the ball over recent minutes. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 now will work it out to 𝓤𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷 on the right-hand side. There are bodies in the box in orange if 𝓤𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 wants to cross. Instead he goes infield, to build up more methodically once again, the Dutch. Lang, who's drifted across to this right-hand side temporarily, finds 𝓤𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷, back it goes once again, but reluctant to put the ball in. The Netherlands, they'll work it through the centre with De Jong, who's pressed and goes out towards 𝓤𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷. Space on the right-hand side for Noah Lang, who certainly has drifted across from left to right, swapping wings potentially with Marlon, although I think Marlon's also popping up on the right at the moment as, again, the Dutch look to try and make some kind of inroads. It's decent defending, though, from Italy. They're standing firm, saying that rigid 4-5-1 almost when they're out of possession, and it's making it hard for the Dutch to try and play their way through. The latest attempt there is snuffed out from the Italians, and yeah, they're so far defending pretty comfortably.
Yeah, they look well organised, you know, considering it's a brand new back four that Mancini's played tonight. He's made changes in midfield. In fact, he's changes all through the park. He's maybe only like 3 or 4 survivors from the semi-final. So, you know, just to say that it's a new team, it's really clicking really well at the moment.
Yeah, one player we haven't really mentioned is Alessandro Buongiorno, who's making his international debut, the Torino defender, the heart of the Italy defence. So far, so good for him, although he might be tested now along with his Italian teammates as 𝓣𝓱𝓪 into the penalty area, pulls it to De Jong on the edge of the box. Now there might be a potential shooting opportunity, but 𝓤𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷 shows far too much of the ball, and now 𝓤𝓤𝓪 can break forward for Italy. He's all on his own, though. The number 9 needs support. Eventually his pocket is picked by 𝓤𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷, atoning for his earlier error, and now the Dutch will break forward. Simons, was he fouled there in the middle of the park? Yes, he was, says the referee, and we're going to see the game's first yellow card as well. I think that has gone the way of the number 6, Marco Verratti.
Yeah, it's not for the foul, though, is it? I think he's given it for kicking the ball away there.
I was trying to work out what the referee was thinking. In fact, DiMarco,
yeah, it's
just come up on the screen that he's been shown the yellow. It was Verratti fouls.
Verratti rugby tackles Simons, and then DiMarco just boots the ball away. So DiMarco gets the yellow card? That doesn't seem right.
Yeah, what's the greater grievance there? I mean, DiMarco, free kicks come in incidentally in Italy and managed to head it clear, but yeah, DiMarco kicked the ball away. But certainly Verratti was beaten, and it was an attempted rugby tackle to bring down Simons that probably should have resulted in a yellow card, but it's gone the way of his teammate instead, as the Dutch again coming forward. Scoop ball into the box, headed clear by 𝓤𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓬𝓲. Not fully away though, and there's going to be another free kick actually. This time, 25 yards out, right in the middle of the park. And again, it's Marco Verratti.
Yeah, I mean, this is Marco Verratti's game, is it? He gets away with so many fouls, Marco Verratti. I don't know how. I mean, he's stretching for a ball there. He's gone off the ground. It's a yellow card in every, you look at the law book, that's a yellow card. Yeah. The referee's got to let him get away with it again.
He's dangling that right leg, and then his left leg just comes round and chops Xavi Simons to the ground. I think that's what one or two of the Dutch players are just saying to the official there, that surely he's got to. If the first one wasn't a yellow card, then surely the second one has to be. Glenn Nyberg, incidentally, Swedish official, is the man in the middle, and I suppose it's a good thing from his point of view. It's taken best part of 35 minutes to mention him, but this is a great opportunity for the Dutch, as I say, about 25 yards out, right in the centre of the goal. Which will in times potentially for Donnarumma in the Italy goal. It's going to be Noah Lang to step up, right-footed strike straight into the wall. Really lacked conviction, and yeah, the Italy player who blocked has gone down and may need to receive some treatment. It's the debutant 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 who's hit the deck.
Yeah, 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, who's having a good day up until that point. He jumps in the wall, doesn't he? And Noah Lang's free kick. Yeah, he's not braced for. Well, there's a little deflection off 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 head, I think, before it hits his head, so he probably wasn't quite braced for it. It's probably clonked him on the nose or something like that. He'll be all right. I don't think he'll need a concussion check or anything like that. So we'll be back underway shortly in the Nations League Finals third place playoff. I'm saying, will we remember the result of this game in a few months' time? I commentated on the World Cup Finals third place playoff, and I can't remember the score now. I think Croatia beat Morocco.
It was definitely Croatia-Morocco.
I couldn't tell you the score now. No, it's only 6 months ago.
I feel like I watched that as well, but yeah, I cannot remember that for the life of me. You don't tend to remember a fair plays playoff, do you? It's the game no one wants to be involved in. It's kind of an afterthought, and what happens to those bronze medals afterwards? I mean, I'd quite like to keep one if I won one, but I'm not a professional footballer, and these elite players who are used to winning major trophies domestically and on the world stage, I don't think they're looking to keep the Nations League bronze medal in their back pocket.
Third place playoffs are a bit of a FIFA thing, aren't they? You look at all the FIFA underage tournaments, and obviously the World Cup, there's a third place playoff. But for the European Championships, there's no third place playoff. So why have UEFA brought it into the Nations League, which is a lesser tournament than the European Championships?
The only thing I can think of is it's to do with the fixtures, because obviously there's Euro qualifiers going on at the moment as well.
So it's like an additional friendly.
Yeah, how do you fit in and schedule once the losing semi-finalists are determined? So it's probably necessity to a degree, and yeah, it's a bit of a glorified friendly. Yeah, absolutely, and a glorified friendly that Italy is enjoying a lot more than the Netherlands at the moment. 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 is okay and back on his feet as 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 can't keep the ball in play for the Dutch. Over on the left-hand side, goal kick to Italy. So yeah, 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 is going to return to the field looking okay. Torino defender, not too much experience. He really broke into the Torino team over the course of halfway through last season, but he's managed to force his way into the Italy squad. And Roberto Mancini, he's used a lot of players, hasn't he, since coming in as Italy manager. Particularly likes to look towards youth, and that's reflected in his lineup this afternoon. And Italy looking pretty comfortable, although they are looking comfortable, Italy, but I can't think of really any other moments other than the 2 goals where they've really been in the Dutch territory.
Yeah, 𝓼𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓲 that shot that just nestled on the top of the bar, didn't he? That was after a corner. They forced a few corners, but no, you're right. They've not really tested 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓬 for the 2 goals.
Yeah, you've got to think it's 70% maybe possession, certainly 65 in favour of the Dutch, as Van Dijk brings the ball forward for the home team into the feet of Simons, who twists, turns, works the ball towards the right-hand side where 𝓣𝓱𝓪 and Dumfries will look to work in tandem. Marlon's there as well. It's a poor ball down the line though by Denzel Dumfries, and then in his hurry to try and pinch the ball back, he's conceded a free kick, and a chance for Italy just to slow things down once again. It's 𝓼𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 back doing the defensive work. There wasn't actually a touch on 𝓼𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷 there, throws himself to the ground and gets an easy free kick.
Yeah, 2 inter-teammates there, and Denzel Dumfries feeling as though his club teammate was conning the officials there and getting a free kick that wasn't justified, but the linesman on the near side, the referee's assistant, bought it.
64%, just checking the statistics for the Dutch in terms of possession. Still yet to have a shot on target though. They've had 3 shots off the home side. I can't really remember many of those. Only 2 shots on target in the match so far. The 2 Italian goals from Di Marco and 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. That could change now though. Simons into Gakpo, chance for the Dutch. Cody Gakpo lifts it over Donnarumma, and for all the world I thought that was going to nestle in the back of the net, but somehow it flies wide of the target. The best chance of the game for the Dutch so far, and Cody Gakpo can't take it.
Yeah, it's just sort of slipped away off his toe there. I mean, he does everything right, and the shot isn't that bad either. It's just somehow gone a fraction wide. Good, when he's missed a chance like that, you're thinking it looks bad for Cody Gakpo, but actually his technical skill to control the ball and set his body in the right shape to take the shot was excellent.
Yeah, he's lifting that ball over an advancing goalkeeper with defenders getting back on the line. He's only few inches out in that being a perfect finish, but that was much better from the Dutch. First time they've cut through the Italian defence, and Xavi Simons is starting to have more of an influence. He's getting on the ball, he's turning, he's running at defenders, and this time he played the right ball through to Gakpo. As we say, was ever so close to getting the Dutch right back in this game, but it might do. Even though it hasn't changed the scoreline, it just put an extra spring in the step of the Dutch heading into these final few minutes of the first half. It's the Netherlands 0, Italy 2. 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 in possession for the Dutch. Clip ball over the top, looking to utilise the pace of Lang, who throws himself to the ground. He has been awarded the free kick there. I'm not sure if he was getting on the end of the ball. It's 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 who's been adjudged to have brought him down. He looks bewildered.
I think he knows what he's doing here, 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰.
Yeah.
He's definitely taken his, well, he's run across his back leg. So 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰's trying to recover his position after being beaten by the pass. But he runs across Noah Lang, definitely brings him down. Other referees would give a yellow card for that.
Yeah, it's one of those. I mean, depending how cynical you want to be, it's either an unfortunate accident or he has deliberately brought Lang down. But either way, it does have to be a free kick because he stopped Lang literally in his tracks. A free kick then to the Dutch. It's a couple of yards out of the penalty area on the left-hand corner of the box. It'll be lifted in by Gakpo towards the far post. Donnarumma comes out and theatrically punches clear, and it's actually gone behind for a corner, so the Dutch can look to keep the pressure on. Donnarumma would have been looking to get a better punch on there. I think he can get that out for a throw-in at least, rather than a corner. As Gakpo again and trots across. Despite being well over 6 foot, he is the set-piece man for the Dutch. He'd probably be the biggest, well, certainly the biggest forward if he was in the penalty area in orange, but he's going to look to lift this one right-footed outswinger into the penalty area, lifted towards the far post, flicked clear off the head of 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Otto trying to break forward. There's a good challenge though from Simons to keep hold of the possession, and the Dutch will keep the attack alive. Lang's cross from the right hand side just too high. I think Van Dijk, who was still in the penalty area, it was actually Marlon's ball in that was looking for the Dutch skipper. He's frustrated. Ball's gone behind for at least a goal kick.
Yeah, 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 just did enough there. He recognised that he was one-on-one with Van Dijk and had to sort of box him off. And in the end, he's got into a wrestling match and got his body in a position where Van Dijk has to sort of come over the top of him with his hands, and that's what the referee spots.
It's good experience defending from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, who had a good night, certainly in terms of his performance in the Champions League final against Manchester City. Not the end result he was looking for. Plenty of Inter Milan players out there this evening, with Dumfries, Dimarco involved as well. 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, of course, was on the winning team in that final in Istanbul for Manchester City. This ball goes out of play on the far side. Touch there actually from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. It'll be a throw in to the Dutch. 90 seconds of the first half remaining. Tick into additional time. We'll get a few minutes, I'd imagine. We've had the cooling break. We've had the VAR decision for the Italian second goal. So there's still time at the end of this first half as Lang twisting and turning down the right-hand side. Can't find a gap to get across into the box. Italy scramble it clear, but the Dutch will come again. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 out to Dumfries on the right-hand side. He finds Gakpo. Little touch around the corner. 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷 will be able to keep the ball in play. He'll need the support that is there from Noah Lang. His right-hand side. Drifts in field. Can't quite turn the ball around the corner into Gakpo. Will get a second bite of the cherry. Now a third as he gets the ball back from Virgil van Dijk. Dumfries crossing position. Only Gakpo in the middle. Has to go short instead. And we're back to the pattern we've seen for the majority of this first half, with the Dutch probing to pass the ball around and wait for those gaps in the Italian defence to unfold, or wait for a foul to come their way as 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 brings down 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷.
Yeah, it feels like a big few minutes this for the game. The Dutch really pushing for a goal back, and there's going to be a few minutes left because there was the cooling break, there was the long delay VAR for the second goal, so I think there's probably going to be maybe 3 or 4 additional minutes here for the Italians to survive, and the Dutch really are pressing now.
They are. Simons, who's at the kind of centre of that breaking forward, he's looking for a free kick, and again the referee obliges. It's Cristante this time who's been penalised. 6 minutes of stoppage time we're going to have, so that is a really chunky amount. On this occasion, looking back at that foul, it didn't look like there was much in it for Cristante.
The referees are really hot on injury and stoppage time now, aren't they? You know, we've seen a lot more added on. I think there's almost like a directive from above there. The referees are pretty hot on it, and 6 minutes, you know, it's kind of how it's going at the moment, I think.
Yeah, certainly in international football, of course, we saw it really predominantly at the World Cup as Gakpo lifts this free kick towards the far post. It's nodded down by 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, I think it was, or maybe Dumfries actually getting up at that far stick. The Dutch are appealing, looking for a corner. Are they looking for something more? I think they're suggesting there might have been a handball in there from an Italian player. We'll look at a replay now. It is Denzel Dumfries who knocks the ball, well, he knocks it onto the arm from point blank range of the Italian defender. A 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, maybe 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, who was jumping for the ball there. I mean, he's a yard away. He's got no idea, the Italian defender, that Dumfries is knocking it down. We do see very strange and harsh penalty decisions given, particularly in terms of the international stage. I don't think this one could be a penalty, though.
No, I think, I don't. It didn't feel like it.
No, yeah. Has been checked and play resumes. Corner into the box from Gakpo is dealt with effectively enough from a defensive point of view, and we might have an Italy counter-attack. Ball played over the top, looking to get the pace of Gnonto in behind. It's tidied up though on the cover with 𝓣𝓱𝓪, the last line of defence for the Dutch. The Italian counter-attacks, unsurprisingly, have dried up as this first half has gone on. You get the sense that Roberto Mancini's side, probably for the last 10 minutes or so, have been happy to just try as best they can to see this out until the half-time break.
Yeah, definitely. It's it's a team with changes, but they've got that, I don't know, Italian trait running through them, that they know how to wind a clock down. They know how to play the sort of streetwise game where you don't lose a game when you're 2-0 up. Although I'm sure they probably have in the past, but this feels like a game where they're just trying to sort of shut it down now before the break.
Yeah, don't want to concede and give the Dutch any real kind of hope heading into the second half, as Verratti in possession. Forward into Cristante now. Pirouettes nicely actually on the ball to get away from the challenge of 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. To link up with 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, who'll get a second bite to the cherry and force the ball towards the right hand side. Not a good pass really. He was looking for Gnonto, cut out by Lang. It's picked up by 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 down the right hand side for Italy, who does find Willy Gnonto. The ball with 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Italy, rare period of sustained possession inside the Dutch half as we approach the midway point of the six that were added on for stoppages at the end of this first period. Netherlands 0, Italy 2. Marco Verratti for Italy. Think about the shot there. He had to carry the ball forward towards the edge of the Dutch penalty area. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 takes over, and again Italy forced back towards the halfway line. But I can't really remember a period like this in the game so far, where Italy have had a decent period of possession in the Dutch half.
Not for a long time, no. They started out quite well, but yeah, they've been pushed back by the Dutch midfield, and the defenders pushing up as well. But right now, I mean, there's still a chance for either side to score before half-time. Only 3 minutes into the extra period.
𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓬𝓚 there drawing a free kick for his side as well. You mentioned if the Dutch score, they'd be right back in the game. A third Italy goal before the break, and you would imagine that would be game, set and match. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 there, the man penalised for the foul on 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Again, the contact rather minimal. It's Italy with a 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 working to DiMarco, who got the goal scoring up and running early in this game. He flicks it into Marco Verratti. Back it goes towards 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. To Raphael 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷. Italy looking to come forward and end this first half strongly. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 finds Gnonto on the right-hand side. Back it goes, Italy retaining possession. It's infield now, into the feet of Cristante. Italy looking to come forward. Run this from Cristante, tries to feed the ball through. It's 𝓳𝓲𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷 he was aiming for. It's a little cute perhaps the pass, and certainly when it came a battle of strength between 𝓳𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷 and Denzel Dumfries, there was only going to be one winner.
Yeah, the pass from Cristante wasn't quite there. It was a tough one to take on. I'm surprised he actually tried to thread it through. There was an easy pass to DiMarco on the left. It would have just kept the ball moving. It would be a bit more in keeping with the Italian style to keep the ball there rather than try and force it.
But Italy have quickly won possession back. Poor ball forward from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷, and there might be a chance for the Italians before the interval. 𝓳𝓳𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 trying to feed it through towards 𝓳𝓳𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷, cut out by Van Dijk, comes to Gnonto. 𝓳𝓳𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 once more. Gnonto now edge of the area, strike towards goal, easily blocked at source by 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓰. Help of Lang should be able to tidy things up. 𝓣𝓱𝓪 though taking a little bit of a risk, the goalkeeper passing it back out to Noah Lang. He then misplaces his pass towards 𝓣𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, and right at the end of this first half, the Dutch have conceded a very needless corner.
Yeah, it's their own fault as well. You know, it was far too casual. Noah Lang's pass back to 𝓣𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. I don't know what he can do with that. It's just really untidy. Those are the sort of little things that coaches spot. You know, Noah Lang, you know, for all his attacking prowess, if he, you know, he can't retain possession and play a sympathetic pass in that situation, then he could be a liability for his team.
It's a little bit raw out on that left-hand side. Lang, as the corner whipped in by 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 with plenty of pace, but too much on it towards the far post, despite the best efforts there of Bjorn Jordo. And that is the last act of the first half. Italy in control of this UEFA Nations League third place playoff, thanks to goals from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 and from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. At the break, it is the Netherlands 0, Italy 2.
Half-time in 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷, it's the Netherlands 0, Italy 2 in this Nations League third place playoff. And it was 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 who got the Italians running after 6 minutes. Lovely move involving a cross in from the right-hand side, which 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓲𝓰 tried to bicycle kick in, and then fell to 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, who back-heeled it to 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷, thrashed it in for his second international goal. A few minutes later, 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷 made it 2-0 with an effort that had to go to VAR to be checked, but it did go through the keeper's legs, Bailo, and it was his first international goal. Chance for 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓃 Gakpo to cut the deficit just before the break, but he missed his opportunity, and at half-time it's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. Half-time in 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷, it's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. A goal early on from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓃 set the Azzurri on their way. 6 minutes in, when he thrashed the ball past Bailo after a good back heel from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓃. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓃 involved in the second Italian goal as well on 20, as his deflected pass went through to 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷. There was a check for offside in the build-up and handball, but when 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷 slotted it through the keeper's legs, he chested it down prior to that, so it was okay. Also, 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓃 Gakpo had a chance to reduce the deficit, but he missed his opportunity at half-time. It's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. Half-time in 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷, it's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. A goal early on from 𝓳𝓸𝓃 set the Azzurri on their way. 6 minutes in, when he thrashed the ball past Bailo after a good back heel from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓃. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓃 involved in the second Italian goal as well on 20, as his deflected pass went through to 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷. There was a check for offside in the build-up and handball, but when 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓃 slotted it through the keeper's legs, he chested it down prior to that, so it was okay. Also, 𝓳𝓸𝓃 Gakpo had a chance to reduce the deficit, but he missed his opportunity at half-time. It's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. Half-time in 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷, it's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. A goal early on from 𝓳𝓸𝓃 set the Azzurri on their way. 6 minutes in, when he thrashed the ball past Bailo after a good back heel from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓃. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓃 involved in the second Italian goal as well on 20, as his deflected pass went through to 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷. There was a check for offside in the build-up and handball, but when 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓃 slotted it through the keeper's legs, he chested it down prior to that, so it was okay. Also, 𝓳𝓸𝓃 Gakpo had a chance to reduce the deficit, but he missed his opportunity at half-time. It's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. Half-time in 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓷, it's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. A goal early on from 𝓳𝓸𝓃 set the Azzurri on their way. 6 minutes in, when he thrashed the ball past Bailo after a good back heel from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓃. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓃 involved in the second Italian goal as well on 20, as his deflected pass went through to 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷. There was a check for offside in the build-up and handball, but when 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓃 slotted it through the keeper's legs, he chested it down prior to that, so it was okay. Also, 𝓳𝓸𝓃 Gakpo had a chance to reduce the deficit, but he missed his opportunity at half-time. It's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. Half-time in 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓷, it's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. A goal early on from 𝓳𝓸𝓃 set the Azzurri on their way. 6 minutes in, when he thrashed the ball past Bailo after a good back heel from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓃. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓃 involved in the second Italian goal as well on 20, as his deflected pass went through to 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷. There was a check for offside in the build-up and handball, but when 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓃 slotted it through the keeper's legs, he chested it down prior to that, so it was okay. Also, 𝓳𝓸𝓃 Gakpo had a chance to reduce the deficit, but he missed his opportunity at half-time. It's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. Half-time in 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓷, it's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. A goal early on from 𝓳𝓸𝓃 set the Azzurri on their way. 6 minutes in, when he thrashed the ball past Bailo after a good back heel from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓃. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓃 involved in the second Italian goal as well on 20, as his deflected pass went through to 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷. There was a check for offside in the build-up and handball, but when 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓃 slotted it through the keeper's legs, he chested it down prior to that, so it was okay. Also, 𝓳𝓸𝓃 Gakpo had a chance to reduce the deficit, but he missed his opportunity at half-time. It's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. Half-time in 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, it's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. A goal early on from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 set the Azzurri on their way. 6 minutes in when he thrashed the ball past 𝓣𝓲 after a good back heel from 𝓣𝓲𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. 𝓣𝓲𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 involved in the second Italian goal as well on 20 as his deflected pass went through to Frattesi. There was a check for offside in the build-up and handball, but when Frattesi slotted it through the keeper's legs, he chested it down prior to that, so it was okay. Also, Cody Gakpo had a chance to reduce the deficit, but he missed his opportunity at half-time. It's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. Half-time in 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, it's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. A goal early on from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 set the Azzurri on their way. 6 minutes in when he thrashed the ball past 𝓣𝓲 after a good back heel from 𝓣𝓲𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷. 𝓣𝓲𝓲𝓷 involved in the second Italian goal as well on 20 as his deflected pass went through to Frattesi. There was a check for offside in the build-up and handball, but when Frattesi slotted it through the keeper's legs, he chested it down prior to that, so it was okay. Also, Cody Gakpo had a chance to reduce the deficit, but he missed his opportunity at half-time. It's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. Half-time in 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, it's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. A goal early on from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 set the Azzurri on their way. 6 minutes in when he thrashed the ball past 𝓣𝓲 after a good back heel from 𝓣𝓲𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷. 𝓣𝓲𝓲𝓷 involved in the second Italian goal as well on 20 as his deflected pass went through to Frattesi. There was a check for offside in the build-up and handball, but when Frattesi slotted it through the keeper's legs, he chested it down prior to that, so it was okay. Also, Cody Gakpo had a chance to reduce the deficit, but he missed his opportunity at half-time. It's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. Half-time in 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, it's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. A goal early on from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 set the Azzurri on their way. 6 minutes in when he thrashed the ball past 𝓣𝓲 after a good back heel from 𝓣𝓲𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷. 𝓣𝓲𝓲𝓷 involved in the second Italian goal as well on 20 as his deflected pass went through to Frattesi. There was a check for offside in the build-up and handball, but when Frattesi slotted it through the keeper's legs, he chested it down prior to that, so it was okay. Also, Cody Gakpo had a chance to reduce the deficit, but he missed his opportunity at half-time. It's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. Half-time in 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, it's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. A goal early on from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 set the Azzurri on their way. 6 minutes in when he thrashed the ball past 𝓣𝓲 after a good back heel from 𝓣𝓲𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷. 𝓣𝓲𝓲𝓷 involved in the second Italian goal as well on 20 as his deflected pass went through to Frattesi. There was a check for offside in the build-up and handball, but when Frattesi slotted it through the keeper's legs, he chested it down prior to that, so it was okay. Also, Cody Gakpo had a chance to reduce the deficit, but he missed his opportunity at half-time. It's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. Half-time in 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, it's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. A goal early on from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 set the Azzurri on their way. 6 minutes in when he thrashed the ball past 𝓣𝓲 after a good back heel from 𝓣𝓲𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷. 𝓣𝓲𝓲𝓷 involved in the second Italian goal as well on 20 as his deflected pass went through to Frattesi. There was a check for offside in the build-up and handball, but when Frattesi slotted it through the keeper's legs, he chested it down prior to that, so it was okay. Also, Cody Gakpo had a chance to reduce the deficit, but he missed his opportunity at half-time. It's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. Half-time in 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, it's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. A goal early on from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 set the Azzurri on their way. 6 minutes in when he thrashed the ball past 𝓣𝓲 after a good back heel from 𝓣𝓲𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷. 𝓣𝓲𝓲𝓷 involved in the second Italian goal as well on 20 as his deflected pass went through to Frattesi. There was a check for offside in the build-up and handball, but when Frattesi slotted it through the keeper's legs, he chested it down prior to that, so it was okay. Also, Cody Gakpo had a chance to reduce the deficit, but he missed his opportunity at half-time. It's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. Half-time in 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, it's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. A goal early on from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 set the Azzurri on their way. 6 minutes in when he thrashed the ball past 𝓣𝓲 after a good back heel from 𝓣𝓲𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷. 𝓣𝓲𝓲𝓷 involved in the second Italian goal as well on 20 as his deflected pass went through to Frattesi. There was a check for offside in the build-up and handball, but when Frattesi slotted it through the keeper's legs, he chested it down prior to that, so it was okay. Also, Cody Gakpo had a chance to reduce the deficit, but he missed his opportunity at half-time. It's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. Half-time in 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, it's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. A goal early on from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 set the Azzurri on their way. 6 minutes in when he thrashed the ball past 𝓣𝓲 after a good back heel from 𝓣𝓲𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷. 𝓣𝓲𝓷 involved in the second Italian goal as well on 20 as his deflected pass went through to Frattesi. There was a check for offside in the build-up and handball, but when Frattesi slotted it through the keeper's legs, he chested it down prior to that, so it was okay. Also, Cody Gakpo had a chance to reduce the deficit, but he missed his opportunity at half-time. It's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. Half-time in 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, it's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. A goal early on from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 set the Azzurri on their way. 6 minutes in when he thrashed the ball past 𝓣𝓲 after a good back heel from 𝓣𝓲𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷. 𝓣𝓲𝓷 involved in the second Italian goal as well on 20 as his deflected pass went through to Frattesi. There was a check for offside in the build-up and handball, but when Frattesi slotted it through the keeper's legs, he chested it down prior to that, so it was okay. Also, Cody Gakpo had a chance to reduce the deficit, but he missed his opportunity at half-time. It's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. Half-time in 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, it's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. A goal early on from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 set the Azzurri on their way. 6 minutes in when he thrashed the ball past 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 after a good back heel from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 involved in the second Italian goal as well on 20 as his deflected pass went through to 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷. There was a check for offside in the build-up and handball, but when 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 slotted it through the keeper's legs, he chested it down prior to that, so it was okay. Also, Cody Gakpo had a chance to reduce the deficit, but he missed his opportunity at half-time. It's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. Half-time in 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, it's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. A goal early on from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷 set the Azzurri on their way. 6 minutes in when he thrashed the ball past 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷 after a good back heel from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷 involved in the second Italian goal as well on 20 as his deflected pass went through to 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷. There was a check for offside in the build-up and handball, but when 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷 slotted it through the keeper's legs, he chested it down prior to that, so it was okay. Also, Cody Gakpo had a chance to reduce the deficit, but he missed his opportunity at half-time. It's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. Half-time in 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, it's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. A goal early on from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷 set the Azzurri on their way. 6 minutes in when he thrashed the ball past 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷 after a good back heel from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷 involved in the second Italian goal as well on 20 as his deflected pass went through to 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷. There was a check for offside in the build-up and handball, but when 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷 slotted it through the keeper's legs, he chested it down prior to that, so it was okay. Also, Cody Gakpo had a chance to reduce the deficit, but he missed his opportunity at half-time. It's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. Half-time in 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, it's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. A goal early on from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷 set the Azzurri on their way. 6 minutes in when he thrashed the ball past 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷 after a good back heel from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷 involved in the second Italian goal as well on 20 as his deflected pass went through to 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷. There was a check for offside in the build-up and handball, but when 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷 slotted it through the keeper's legs, he chested it down prior to that, so it was okay. Also, Cody Gakpo had a chance to reduce the deficit, but he missed his opportunity at half-time. It's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. Half-time in 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, it's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. A goal early on from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷 set the Azzurri on their way. 6 minutes in when he thrashed the ball past 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷 after a good back heel from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷 involved in the second Italian goal as well on 20 as his deflected pass went through to 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷. There was a check for offside in the build-up and handball, but when 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓷 slotted it through the keeper's legs, he chested it down prior to that, so it was okay. Also, Cody Gakpo had a chance to reduce the deficit, but he missed his opportunity at half-time. It's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. Half-time in 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, it's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. A goal early on from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷 set the Azzurri on their way. 6 minutes in when he thrashed the ball past 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷 after a good back heel from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷 involved in the second Italian goal as well on 20 as his deflected pass went through to 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷. There was a check for offside in the build-up and handball, but when 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓷 slotted it through the keeper's legs, he chested it down prior to that, so it was okay. Also, Cody Gakpo had a chance to reduce the deficit, but he missed his opportunity at half-time. It's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. Half-time in 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, it's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. A goal early on from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷 set the Azzurri on their way. 6 minutes in when he thrashed the ball past 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷 after a good back heel from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷 involved in the second Italian goal as well on 20 as his deflected pass went through to 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷. There was a check for offside in the build-up and handball, but when 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓷 slotted it through the keeper's legs, he chested it down prior to that, so it was okay. Also, Cody Gakpo had a chance to reduce the deficit, but he missed his opportunity at half-time. It's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. Half-time in 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, it's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. A goal early on from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷 set the Azzurri on their way. 6 minutes in when he thrashed the ball past 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷 after a good back heel from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷 involved in the second Italian goal as well on 20 as his deflected pass went through to 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷. There was a check for offside in the build-up and handball, but when 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓷 slotted it through the keeper's legs, he chested it down prior to that, so it was okay. Also, Cody Gakpo had a chance to reduce the deficit, but he missed his opportunity at half-time. It's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. Half-time in 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, it's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. A goal early on from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷 set the Azzurri on their way. 6 minutes in when he thrashed the ball past 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷 after a good back heel from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷 involved in the second Italian goal as well on 20 as his deflected pass went through to 𝓳𝓸𝓷. There was a check for offside in the build-up and handball, but when 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓷 slotted it through the keeper's legs, he chested it down prior to that, so it was okay. Also, Cody Gakpo had a chance to reduce the deficit, but he missed his opportunity at half-time. It's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. Half-time in 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, it's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. A goal early on from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷 set the Azzurri on their way. 6 minutes in when he thrashed the ball past 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷 after a good back heel from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷 involved in the second Italian goal as well on 20 as his deflected pass went through to 𝓳𝓸𝓷. There was a check for offside in the build-up and handball, but when 𝓳𝓸𝓷 slotted it through the keeper's legs, he chested it down prior to that, so it was okay. Also, Cody Gakpo had a chance to reduce the deficit, but he missed his opportunity at half-time. It's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. Half-time in 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, it's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. A goal early on from 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓼 set the Azzurri on their way. 6 minutes in when he thrashed the ball past 𝓣𝓱𝓪 after a good back heel from 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 involved in the second Italian goal as well on 20 as his deflected pass went through to Frattesi. There was a check for offside in the build-up and handball, but when Frattesi slotted it through the keeper's legs, he chested it down prior to that, so it was okay. Also, 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 had a chance to reduce the deficit, but he missed his opportunity at half-time. It's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. Half-time in 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, it's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. A goal early on from 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓴 set the Azzurri on their way. 6 minutes in when he thrashed the ball past 𝓣𝓱𝓪 after a good back heel from 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 involved in the second Italian goal as well on 20 as his deflected pass went through to Frattesi. There was a check for offside in the build-up and handball, but when Frattesi slotted it through the keeper's legs, he chested it down prior to that, so it was okay. Also, 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷 had a chance to reduce the deficit, but he missed his opportunity at half-time. It's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. Half-time in 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, it's Netherlands 0, Italy 2. A goal early on from 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓴 set the Azzurri on their way. 6 minutes in when he thrashed the ball past 𝓣𝓱𝓪 after a good back heel from 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓰. 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷 involved in the second Italian goal as well on 20 as his deflected pass went through to Frattesi. There was a check for offside in the build-up and handball, but warm welcome back. Second half just about to get underway in 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷 for this Nations League third place playoff, and news of a triple substitution for Ronald Koeman and the Netherlands as he throws on 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, who we were talking about in the first half, Tom, Steven Bergwijn and Georginio Wijnaldum.
Yeah, plenty of experience at the highest level and goal-scoring threat on there, and an out-and-out centre-forward, someone that can hold the ball up, bring others into play, and most importantly, get into the penalty area. And from a Dutch point of view, they'll be hoping potentially to convert one or two chances. Just awaiting confirmation of the 3 players that have been withdrawn, but further underlines what we expected and suggested that Ronald Koeman wouldn't be happy with what he saw from his side in the first half.
Well, Wijnaldum involved straight away, winning the ball back in the Italian half. We are underway, just about 15 seconds gone in this second half. So we're trying to work out who's gone off. But Gakpo looks like he's still on, so quite an attacking side then with the 3 forwards on, and Gakpo still, I guess Marlon and Noah Lang, who probably signalled his likelihood for going off towards the end of that first half with that poor back pass to Ake had been withdrawn. And I thought 𝓣𝓱𝓪 was poor in the first half as well. He might have been sort of likely to go off based on first half performance, so actually I think he might still be out there. The Italians have it though, over on the far side. It's played back to Buongiorno. And he's flicked on now towards 𝓣𝓱𝓪, who tries to burst down the left-hand side. His pass inside was just cut out, though, by Van Dijk. And they have it back. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰's gone off as well. So changing defence for the Netherlands. Well, Frenkie de Jong can play in defence. I don't think he's gone back there. Maybe they've gone to a back 3. Nathan Ake, Dumfries and Van Dijk seemingly in a back 3 now. Over on the right-hand side, here's Bergwijn, who might be the right wing-back in this new formation, trying to trick his way past the defender, but Italy cut it out. Comes back to Dumfries. And he goes back to Van Dijk. Van Dijk chips the ball out towards the left-hand side, trying to get in behind. There's a chance for the Netherlands. Gakpo denied, and then saved again at the second attempt by Donnarumma.
Yeah, really good ball over the top, wasn't it, from Van Dijk. Gakpo bends his run just about onside. I would suggest gets infield of 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, effort towards goal, angles tight. Donnarumma stands up big and makes a decent save. It struck at him by Gakpo, but he didn't really have an angle all the time necessarily. Maybe he could have looked to open up that instep and lift it around Donnarumma, but it's decent goalkeeping and a good save.
Yeah, the Liverpool connection almost coming up with the goal there for the Netherlands. Van Dijk's pass was perfect for Gakpo's run, and it's so well timed as well. You think they've got that understanding from club football as well, but the finish could have been a little bit better from the Dutch striker, number 9, and Donnarumma made the save, although he's gone down with an injury as well, hasn't he? Was this from the second attempt that he picked up the injury? I think it was when maybe a defender's tried to get involved as well. I think Donnarumma needs treatment. Yeah,
he's certainly down in a degree of discomfort. Just looking at that effort again from Gakpo, he had that chance in the first half where he opened up his instep and lifted it over the goalkeeper. That same kind of finish there, I think, would have been found the bottom corner. He just tried to kind of hit it towards the goalkeeper in hope rather than expectation, and that lack of conviction, it really showed.
Well, given away again by the Dutch as Donnarumma picks it up, and Wastes a few more seconds for Italy. They are 2 goals up, courtesy of that great start they had. Goals from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 and 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. 20 minutes in. Dutch did peg them back before half-time, but clearly something wasn't working for the Netherlands. Ronald Koeman had to change it. He's changed the system as well as the personnel, and already it looks a bit better, doesn't it, with that the chances being created. Here come Italy, though. Edge of the Dutch box, but it's cut out by Nathan Ake. And he clears away, but it's won back by Italy. Fed back to Gnonto on the right-hand side. Gnonto taking on Ake on his left foot now, looking to take a shot, hits the defender, Van Dijk, who makes the block, and the Dutch can break, and it's a good break as well, as they've got a man here running at 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. It's Xavi Simons trying to trick his way past him, out to the outside, cuts back, and he's just been deterred from getting into the penalty area by 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 and the cover from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷.
Yeah, half openings at both ends. First of all, decent strike from Gnonto. I think that would have been troubling 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲 in the Dutch goal. Van Dijk gets an important blocking, and then up the other end breaking. He does really well, Xavi Simons. He runs really positively, and he just has half a yard to get a shot away on his left foot, but because it's on his unfavoured side, he changes his mind, hesitates, and with that, the initial opportunity goes begging.
Yeah, 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷 conceded the corner, so Italy still defending here as Gakpo takes it near post. It's almost flicked on there. The Dutch wanting a decision, which wasn't coming their way. Eventually they win it back outside the area, but De Jong has gone backwards here, and they'll just have to bide the time before coming forward again. Italy sitting back as De Jong now tries to take on 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷. He beats him for pace and plays it back out to Gakpo. He takes a couple of touches, comes infield looking for somebody to overlap him, but he's gone inside now. And Wijnaldum works it out towards the right-hand side. Bergwijn, ex of Spurs. Wide it goes again. Weghorst gets his first touch. The striker who finished the season on loan at Manchester United. Not sure where he's going to end up next season, but I don't think Burnley wants him now. I'm not sure he's going to fit into Vincent Kompany's plans at Turf Moor. Here come the Netherlands again. Ball's out towards Gakpo again on the left-hand side. Goes to the right-footed cross into the middle. It's up in the air from the Dutch defender. And then Bergwijn tries a volley. It's blocked by 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷 and goes behind for a corner.
Yeah, really good defending from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷. It just spun up into the air nicely from Gakpo's cross for Steven Bergwijn. He's watching it down on the volley, but 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷 recognises the danger, throws himself at it, and it's a decent strike from Bergwijn, so it's a good block off the right studs of 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷's boot and behind for a corner, and he takes the high fives and the pats on the back from his teammates.
He's probably in line for man of the match at the moment, 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷, but still a way to go here as the Dutch try and get back on terms with the corner, chipped into the box, headed away by Italy, headed back in there, and the Dutch trying to keep it alive, but there's a foul, I think, going to be given against 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, and it's going to be a free kick to Italy.
Yeah, that just kills all the momentum the Dutch were trying to build up. It does look like it's a back three now as well, doesn't it, with Dumfries sitting a bit deeper, but when they lose the ball, the Dutch, you see De Jong dropping in and making it a central, well, going into centre-back alongside Van Dijk and making it a defensive for them. One or two appeals for a handball as well from that last corner from the Dutch, not for the first time in this game, though, that fell on deaf ears, but the tactical change seems to have it just gave them a little bit more in the final third.
Yeah, they're winning the ball back in the Italian final third, and they've got it now as Gakpo tries a shot from range. It's whistled wide of the post. Goalkeeper not too troubled by that.
Yeah, they're just really sensing opportunity. If they can get a goal quickly at the start of this second half, then the whole momentum of the game, the feel of the game would completely change. They're the side on the front foot at the moment. They dominated possession in the first half without ever really looking a threat, but in these opening 7 minutes of the second half, they've had a decent chance from Gakpo, one or two other half openings, and yeah, they're putting the pressure on this Italy side.
Cleared by the Azzurri. There's a bit of a wrestling match on the halfway line between 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷 and Van Dijk. Free kick's gone the Netherlands' way, and the Liverpool skipper takes it quickly. His former teammate Wijnaldum passes it back to him. Ake makes an angle, but Van Dijk's gone long here, trying to seek out Bergwijn. The substitute's up against 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, gives him a nudge as the ball arrives, and it was a clever nudge as well, as it stops the Dutchman in his tracks, and it earns Italy a throw-in, which 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷 takes. And then he boots away. It's a loose clearance, so it's gone straight to Xavi Simons. A better touch from him, who'd have been in for a shot. What was 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷 doing there? That was so careless.
He's very erratic defensively, isn't he, 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷? The ball comes to him, he panics, but you know, get that down the line, put it into Rose Ed if you need to. Don't thrash it across towards the edge of your own penalty area. And as you say, think Simon's had the time. The ball's fizzed towards him. I think he had the time. We know he's got the quality to bring that ball down, so he'll be just disappointed, and he's let Italy and @̓DeMarco in particular off the hook.
Just doesn't have the defensive instincts, does he, @DeMarco, to do the sensible thing. It's almost like you're playing sort of David Beckham at fullback, you know, and he's just playing like his normal position. But anyway, the Trent Alexander-Arnold comparisons continue as Donnarumma kicks this one long, and it's headed away by Dumfries. De Jong keeps it ticking over, and now Wijnaldum into midfield, trying to burst through a challenge. It breaks for Weghorst. He knocks it back. Here's Bergwijn, edge of the penalty area, trying to thread it through. Just trying to jink outside. There was a Dutch player that went down under a challenge from 𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, but Italy come away with the ball. 𝓣𝓲𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 lays it off to 𝓤𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Now he's going to try and spin the ball out towards Gnonto. It's not a bad delivery. It's actually going to reach Retegui in the middle, but he was out-muscled by a strong challenge by Van Dijk. Game very stretched at the moment, and the Dutch coming forward again with Gakpo across the halfway line. Now laid off by Weghorst, back into midfield. De Jong, and a poor touch again from Xavi Simons allows Italy to break, but then the pass doesn't reach Gnonto or give him any chance of getting it, so it's got a bit scrappy at the moment.
It has. It's very ragged, very open, but both sides just lacking a bit of composure and quality in the final third. And Dutch looking to come forward again. Weghorst dropping deep to get involved. He needs to get in the area for this cross.
Bergwijn going to set the cross in. It's a high one, but it's too high. It's gone over the top, way over the back post. Weghorst tries his hardest to recycle it, but Italy have got numbers back, and well, that's apparently come off a Dutch player, although it looked like it came straight off Gnonto to me, but it's going to be a throw in to Italy.
Yeah, throwing deep inside their own defensive third. I'm not sure who this suits more, this ragged end-to-end stuff, because Italy have looked at their best from an attacking point of view, playing on the counter-attack, which suits the way the game is at the moment. But also these spaces opening up when you've got a 2-goal lead, you've got to imagine that suits the side trying to chase the game, which at the moment, of course, is the Dutch.
Italy back in possession. Verratti up to 𝓣𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. 𝓤𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, Verratti again. Cristante just playing it short, 5-yard pass to a man who's already marked, but Verratti's escaped the attentions there of 𝓤𝓲𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓤. This one's given away though, and here comes Wijnaldum again joining the attack. He's got options left, right and centre. He's gone to Gakpo on the left, onto his right foot, now into the middle. A little pirouette there from Xavi Simons. It falls to Bergwijn, then a shot which is blocked by an Italian defender who's gone down holding his chest or his midriff. It looks a painful one for Verratti after the effort from Bergwijn hit him in the middle.
Yeah, stinging drive from Steven Bergwijn. But the Dutch, they didn't have this in the first half, but there were 4 or 5 bodies in orange in the penalty area. They're all queuing up to get a shot away. No one can really get a clean hit until eventually it's struck from the edge of the area by Bergwijn, and it is brave defending to get the block in. I think the Dutch are happy with how long it's taken the Italian defenders to get back to his feet. Wijnaldum protesting towards the referee, but that's what they're doing now in this second half, the Dutch, that they weren't doing in the first. They're getting bodies forward, this showing some urgency. They never really had any of that in that first period. You know, they need to probably get a goal pretty quickly to keep that momentum going, but at the moment Ronald Koeman would be reasonably happy with how this second half has begun.
Yeah, restarted with a throw in. Dumfries goes back now to 𝓤𝓲𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, and it's played inside. De Jong, and back to Van Dijk. 𝓤𝓲𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 opened his body up and then chips the left-footed pass out towards the left-hand side. Here's Cody Gakpo again, going to tease Gnonto onto his right foot, cross to the back post looking for Weghorst. It's up in the air from Acerbi. Second header won by Simons, then back on towards Weghorst, who can't make the most of that, and it comes off an Italian defender for a Dutch corner.
Yeah, beyond Giorno there, he's got a different battle, the debutant in this second half, up against the physical presence of Wout Weghorst, who doesn't give anything up, does he? Battling for the ball there. Last touch does come off the Torino defender, so another corner for the Dutch. They have threatened from these Cody Gakpo deliveries so far, and it's another opportunity now.
This one is bent in towards a penalty spot, headed away by Cristante, and then a volleyed attempt from the edge of the box comes straight back towards a corner taker, and he's unmarked here. Gakpo into the penalty, he's trying to fit it low, and it was fizzed across the 6-yard box with no touch from an Orangi player. Still a attack though, with Simons now recovering possession, working onto his right foot for a cross, doesn't beat the first man, and Italy volleyed away. But it's all hands on deck now for the Azzurri, isn't it? It's the Dutch really pushing for this goal back.
They are, and it's a long way to hold out, even with a 2-goal advantage with less than an hour played from an Italy point of view. What a ball in that was from Gakpo. I don't know how no friend or foe got a touch on that as he thrashed it across the 6-yard box. They're knocking on the door, the Dutch, really for the first time in the game, and making the Italy defence again for the first time look a little bit ragged.
Bergwijn back to Wijnaldum, the two substitutes on the right for the Netherlands now, and he's up against his PSG teammate Marco Verratti here. Can he wriggle his way around? He has beaten him. He puts a cross into the penalty. It comes onto the chest and it's laid back, edge of the box. Shot comes in. It's saved by 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. I think it might have been 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 who was up there hitting the final effort, but it was easily covered up by the keeper.
Yeah, total football from the Dutch in this second half. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, right centre-back inside the D of the penalty area, comes to him, hits it first time, maybe could have taken a touch. He's trying to just place that towards the right-hand corner of Donnarumma's goal and doesn't quite catch it how he would like. Routine save for the goalkeeper in the end, but another signal of intent from the Dutch.
Yeah, and they've got a throw in on the left now. Roberto Mancini, it's his turn to start becoming a bit more vocal and a bit more agitated by the proceedings on the pitch. In the first half, it was a very forlorn and frustrated looking Ronald Koeman, but the changes made at half time, particularly the change in shape, I think has started to work its difference. 11 attempts to 6 now for the Dutch, and they're on the ball again. Good skill from 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, who's come alive in the second half as well, in a midfield role, but that pass goes astray, and now 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 tries to dribble out of defence, trying to link up with 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 before Van Dijk gets a foot in. It's come here, edge of the penalty area to 𝓤 Jong. 𝓤 Jong can't thread it through to Bergwijn, intercepted there by Buongiorno. Now Italy again trying to make it stick for a few passes. Good stab pass by Di Marco. It's headed on by Buongiorno, and now 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 keeps it on in the playing arena out on the left-hand side. Slips it infield, doesn't make the pass to Di Marco though. He's coming with a bit of momentum, and the Dutch have it back. Yeah. Over on the left-hand side. Sorry, Tom.
Wasted opportunity there for Italy. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 drifting infield. He almost got caught in two minds because there was two players making a similar run, and he tried to pull it back for Di Marco, which wasn't really the ball on. I think it was 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, the other Italy player there. They need to keep the ball a bit better than they've been doing over the last 10 minutes or so. Italy, 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰's barely had a kick in this second half. They can't get the likes of 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 or 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 involved. It's not quite one-way traffic. It's close.
There's a great one-on-one tackle there on that side by 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Stops Steven Bergwijn. He tries to knock it up towards 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. He's looking increasingly isolated. Back to Cristante though, and then all the way back to Acerbi and Buongiorno. Goalkeeper Donnarumma takes a touch and almost took too long before clearing his lines out towards the left-hand side. It's headed back by 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, and the Dutch will come again now with the Bergwijn. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 motors on past him. Bergwijn still in midfield, about 30 yards from goal, finding Wijnaldum. Space out on the right-hand side for Frenkie de Jong, and now 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 looks to cross here, hits the first man, Di Marco, and goes out for a throw-in to the Netherlands. They're going to make another change as well. So Ronald Koeman has already sent on 3 subs. He's going to send on a 4th shortly.
Yeah, it looks like it's Koopmeiners who was the one change to the starting 11 today, who's going to come on and get a bit more of a physical presence at a field who can score goals. And no surprise, Ronald Koeman trying to be proactive, isn't he? He's made that trouble change at the break. It's had an effect in terms of the play, if not the scoreline. Now he's looking to alter things again. Yeah,
here come Italy though, almost accepting a gift to break, and now they do have a chance to break. It's 3-on-3 if they use it right. Ball lifted over the top by 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, and he's got 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 there, but great one-on-one defending from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, although it looks like the referee might have given a free kick for that. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, I thought, won the ball. Either way, the counter-attack was stopped in its tracks, but I didn't think it was a foul.
Yeah, 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 a little bit fortunate, isn't he? Because it's a decent ball from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷, and as you say, it would have been a 3-on-3 situation, but he couldn't get the ball under control. That invited the challenge from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, and whether it should have been a free kick or not, I'm not sure, but Italy still have possession as change from both teams being made. Koopmeiners coming on for Xavi Simons, who's not had the best of starts individually to this second period, so no real surprise at that change, and looks like Italy have got a substitution ready to come on as well.
Yeah, I don't think he's had a good game at all, Xavi Simons, to be honest, and Koopmeiners should improve things in terms of the quality going forward, and it's Federico Chiesa who's going to replace 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 for Italy at the same time.
Yeah, again, I'm not too surprised at that. We were just mentioning Italy's attacking players struggling to get any kind of foothold in the game at the start of this second half. It was probably a flip of the coin. I was going to say a flip of the coin between whether it was going to be 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 or 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 going off. It turns out both of them are going to be replaced.
That's right, because Zaniolo is coming on as well. the 𝓤𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 man. Well, Chiesa's got loads of pace, hasn't he? So with the space on the counter-attack they're getting now, you know, he could be more of a killer than 𝓤𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, who looks like, you know, he hasn't quite got the pace to go past Dumfries, or he didn't.
Yeah, I think Chiesa may occupy a bit more of the Gnonto role. Certainly has similar characteristics to Gnonto as Zaniolo, maybe a little bit more like 𝓤𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. He's a bigger individual Zaniolo, but very good technical on the ball. So yeah, fresh legs in those attacking areas for Italy to try and give a little bit more support. You mentioned it earlier on, the ever increasingly isolated Matteo Retegui.
Yeah, but he stays on, and I think Mancini's pretty happy with his display so far. As throw-in's taken short by 𝓼𝓲𝓲, and here's a chance for Chiesa to get on the ball. He's gone back to 𝓼𝓲𝓲 though, who tries a little turn on the left-hand side, still going, trying to bustle his way past Dutch defenders, but just getting crowded out in the end, and there's a foul by Chiesa on Dumfries, which allows the Dutch a free kick, and they come out of defence now with De Jong. Back it goes to Van Dijk. There's space for the new man Koopmeiners now over to the left of midfield, and Gakpo's there as well. He's gone into the centre for Wijnaldum. Wijnaldum ferrying it back towards the left again though, and finding Koopmeiners on the half turn, laid back to Gakpo. Gakpo needs to make something happen now into the penalty area. He's won a corner. So the Dutch keeping the pressure on and keeping the Italians pegged back. Coming up to 65 minutes gone in this Nations League third place playoff. Still the Netherlands 0, Italy 2. Xavi Simons now pictured on the bench after being replaced by Teun Koopmeiners, who's got some physical presence. He's going to take the corner though, so they change corner takers. Left-footed bending ball into the near post, doesn't beat the first man. Italy get it away, and Koopmeiners has to come and take the throw now. I think he played for Twente, didn't he? I think that was his Dutch team, as this long throw-in goes in, and it's gobbled up by Donnarumma. Easy claim for the Italian goalkeeper. Yeah,
Koopmeiners coming on, he's keeping the Koeman's desire to have someone 6 foot plus taking the set pieces into the box, but he's a threat, isn't he? He's another option. He'll try and get forward in support of.
He played for AZ.
Yeah, in the Eredivisie. But he'll get forward in support of 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓲 and gives another physical outlet. He's a completely different kind of player, although he'll occupy a similar position to Xavi Simons, who, you're right, he didn't have the best of games. He did try at least to get on the ball. He was trying to make things happen, which is a bit more than we can say about Lang and Marlon, who were replaced before him, but it just didn't happen for Simons today.
No, but Koopmeiners certainly has a bit of quality. He's trying to get back in defence now to stop this attack down the left-hand side from Chiesa, and he does it fairly, and the referee says play on as the Dutch come forward now, and there's space out for Bergwijn on the right-hand side, fouled by Wijnaldum. Bergwijn to the edge of the penalty area, trying to take on his man. Can he get past there? Bonjour gets a cross into the near post, and it's an easy catch for Donnarumma again.
Yeah, Bergwijn, he's been a decent outlet on that right-hand side since coming on. He's lacking that final ball. He's under pressure there as he's trying to lift that ball in, and it's an easy claim from Donnarumma, but he's had an impact. Wijnaldum's had an impact. The sheer presence of 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓲 has had an impact. So, to a degree, they've had an effect, these Dutch substitutions, but the frustrating thing, we've mentioned it before, it hasn't led to a change in the scoreline.
No, and we're now almost 3/4 of the way through the game, so something needs to happen pretty quickly if the Dutch are to rescue this situation. It is the Netherlands 0, Italy 2, and take through to full-time now. It's going to be Tom McGarry.
Yeah, painful one there for the newly introduced Chiesa. Accidentally had his ankle trod on by Dumfries. Free kick given. Italy try and take it quickly, which may not have been the wisest decision because they've lost possession. It's the Dutch looking to bring the ball forward. It's 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 across to 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Italy getting everyone back behind the ball. They're retreating more and more into their defensive shell, the Italians. We've not seen in terms of a actual threat in this second half. The Dutch look to play their way through, but it's given away rather sloppily. De Jong can't control. Now there might be a chance. Retegui, though, beaten to it by Van Dijk. There is an opportunity now for the Dutch to look to break forward. Koopmeiners finds Gakpo drifting in from the left-hand side. Lifts a dangerous-looking ball into the box. It'll break the way of Bergwijn. Steps inside DiMarco, drills the ball left-footed into the back of the net, and it's very much game on in this third-place playoff once again. Steven Bergwijn, calm, composed finish into the back of the net. It's the Netherlands 1, Italy 2.
Yeah, it's a great finish from Bergwijn, but DiMarco gets done by the dummy far too easily. I think he's all right. Okay, it's a great dummy, but DiMarco's he's bought it. He slid off towards the corner flag there as the shot comes in, And, well, Donnarumma could do nothing about this one. It's fluid attacking play from the Dutch. They went from one side to the other, got the ball to the danger man in the box, and, yeah, well finished off by 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰.
Yeah, just rolls the ball over the top of his studs inside. DiMarco falls for the dummy and, yeah, lashes it into the side of the net. Really good finish from Steven Bergwijn. It was a similar moment on the volley 5 or 10 minutes ago where Bergwijn took it first time, DiMarco dived in and got an important block in. This time he stepped inside Bergwijn, recognising what DiMarco was going to do, and provided a cool finish. His 8th international goal, incidentally, on what is his 30th appearance. And very much game on now as we approach the final 20 minutes or so of this Nations League third place playoff. But it's Italy now looking to come forward. Perhaps they need to just show a little bit more courage in these final 20-25 minutes. Long ball forward out towards the left-hand side where DiMarco is forward. He's tracked by the goal scorer Bergwijn, who now looks to play his way out from the back with the help of first 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Now Jorginho Wijnaldum, who steps away from the challenge with ease, drives forward down the right-hand side. Doesn't have an obvious ball on, so has to check backwards into his own half with Denzel Dumfries. But what that goal gives the Dutch as well is just a little bit of breathing room. They were really chasing the game when they needed 2 goals. At least now they've got a little bit of time to try and get at least 1 to force extra time.
Yeah, well, did it in the World Cup, didn't they, to Argentina? Came back from a couple of goals down there, and you wouldn't put it past them coming back and doing the same here.
It's Italy though now coming forward. Chiesa into the penalty area, gets away from Dumfries, who slips, gets towards the byline, cuts it back towards the edge of the 6-yard box. A couple of players slipping in there, and it's Virgil van Dijk who can just about stab the ball clear for the Dutch.
Yeah, you posed the question a few minutes ago about, you know, the unstructured nature of the game, which team would benefit from it the most. Well, it's clearly the Dutch at the moment. I think, you know, the Italians do need a structure really to hold their discipline, to be, you know, to be more effective. And with the game getting a little bit stretched and a little bit sort of all over the place, it's turned more in the Dutch favour. Well,
it's Italy again coming forward. Zaniolo onto his left foot, shot blocked by 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓼𝓲𝓷𝓰, who stuck to his guns. It will ricochet back out Italy's way. Down on the right-hand side there, and I think the referee has given a free kick to Loy. It is, actually, no, it's 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 who's taken a tumble there, trying to step away from the newly introduced cup miners. Couldn't resist a bite, and yeah, free kick to Italy, certainly not the worst thing. The more Italy can get hold of the ball, win some niggling free kicks, keep the Dutch away from their defensive third, the better for Roberto Mancini's side, particularly after just conceding that goal. They want to make sure the team in orange can't build up too much momentum, and I'm sure they'll take their time with this free kick, which has actually been lifted towards the penalty area. Lovely turn, and initial setup play on the volley by, I think it was Cristante, but a wild swing of the left boot sends the ball well wide of the target. And I'm sure if play will resume, I think it's resumed actually with a throw-in on the far side, which the Dutch have taken quickly. Maybe Roberto Mancini now might look to change things up once again. He's made the double change, freshening things up in the final third, but he may need something different, maybe something a little bit more defensive.
Yeah, I mean, Nicolo Barella's on the bench. Jorginho, you know, we know how good a player he is at sort of protecting the back four. He could be a useful asset in this situation.
Italy now look to break forward again. The game is really stretched as Chiesa into the penalty area, steps away from one challenge and rolls the ball into the back of the net. And Italy have restored their 2-goal advantage in this third place playoff. Federico Chiesa driving into the penalty area, steps onto his left foot, and the ball squirms beyond 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓼𝓲𝓷𝓰 and trickles almost into the net. He's almost looks surprised that he's managed to score, but he has, and Italy lead the Netherlands by 3-1.
Dutch wanted a free kick, didn't they? He wanted a free kick in the Italian half. 2 passes later, it's on to Chiesa. He's up against Van Dijk and doesn't make a challenge, Van Dijk. You know, that's disappointing. Okay, Chiesa's done him with his footwork there, but he needs to be a yard closer. You know, being really critical. The finish has come off the inside of the post. He squeezed it in somehow, but Van Dijk has got to be a yard closer to Chiesa there to stop that from happening.
He had time to come across, didn't he? He didn't want to commit Virgil van Dijk and too concerned about what was behind him, but Chiesa could just jog into the penalty area. He could hardly believe the space he had, and yeah, there's a drop of the shoulder, a quick step over, but he really didn't need to do that much to open up a yard of space to to then find the bottom corner. It's a good finish from Chiesa, a good goal from Italy's point of view, but sluggish defending from the Dutch.
Yeah, I mean, Van Dijk can look a little bit like that, Kai. I mean, I think he's had a great game. Well, I say he's had a great game. His team conceded 3 goals, and he's the centre-back. But, you know, he's made some good one-on-one tackles. I think his leadership and his aerial ability is still great. But it's just sometimes in those one-on-one situations, he can look a little bit lazy as a defender. You know, we've seen it in the Premier League, haven't we, where, you know, he's almost like stood too far off trying to block something, and a player's dribbled round him, and it's happened again here.
Neutral's favourite Federico Di Marco has now been replaced by Italy. I think Roberto Mancini sensing you might need to tighten things up, and Leonardo Spinazzola, who really impressed at the Euros, which Italy won a couple of summers ago. He's come on at left back. The Dutch have a change lined up as well, which isn't going to happen straight away. Play has resumed from the third goal for Italy, and immediately the Dutch trying to get on the front foot. Koopmeiners looking to slot the ball through to 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Sliding challenge comes in from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, who's stayed down, and the referee will blow his whistle to allow the Italy defender to receive a bit of treatment, and he's indicating there, the referee, that he will add the time on. Cherby actually maybe who's gone down, but yeah, that's just not the stuffing. That goal for Chiesa has just completely knocked the stuffing out of the Dutch, and they've got to somehow try and go again. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, they can't just you know, throw the towel in here, can they? They're at home. You know, it's a game where, you know, there's nothing to lose really. You might as well lose 4-1, 5-1 as you know, 3-1 or 3-2. You know, you just got to pick yourselves back up and go again. They've got a cooling break now, so a chance for Koeman to get them round and try and reinstill some positivity. But you know, the momentum of the game was going all their way. They got the goal back, and then all of a sudden they get caught on the counter-attack. They were still complaining to the referee. A couple of the Dutch players were still complaining to the referee that they felt it was a foul on their player when Italy won the ball back in the move for the goal. But I mean, they check everything, don't they, VAR? So there's no way that wouldn't have been you know, on the list of things to check.
Yeah, I mean, it might have been a foul, on another day it might have been given, but it certainly wasn't a clear and obvious error that VAR would have to intervene, as we are going to see this Dutch change after the completion of the cooling break. We've just ticked into the final 15 minutes or so of the contest. The Netherlands 1, Italy 3. Yes, this is the 5th and final change available to Ronald Koeman. Last throw of the dice, if you like, and it's going to be the number 17, Joey Veerman, who is going to come on. And quite catch the number. That was 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 who's gone off, so Veerman replacing 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 in the middle of the park.
Yeah, PSV's Veerman replaces Feyenoord's 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. I mean, there's quite a good core of Eredivisie players in the Dutch squad at the moment. Clearly, Ronald Koeman has, you know, he's looking to try and, I don't know, build something with home-based players as well as the foreign legion, and they've got plenty, you know, well-established players abroad. But you know, 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓰, 23. It's only his 3rd cap today. I thought he did okay for the second half at least. First half he looked lost, but so everybody in the orange shirt looked lost. But second half I thought he did quite well. And Joey Veerman is 24 on debut, so you know, Koeman will want a good look at him and see if he's got the necessary quality to be a fixture in the future.
Absolutely, and with potential European Championships coming up in just about a year's time, these players are looking to stamp their claim at potentially going, although the Dutch by no means certain of qualifying. They were thrashed by France in their opening qualifier by 4-0. The only win since Ronald Koeman returned as manager at the start of the year was against Gibraltar, so it's not been a fantastic start for Koeman in his second spell in charge. As ball forward there from Van Dijk, looking to 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 and co in behind. But yeah, the goal, the cooling break, the changes that have been made as well, it's going to be very difficult for the Dutch to try and get themselves going again and fight their way back into this game, particularly when that leaves gaps at the back, which Italy are looking to exploit now. It's a rasping effort from Chiesa, who certainly had a big impact since coming on. That one whistling well over the top of the crossbar, but we know the quality he possesses, and the problem the Dutch have, you mentioned it earlier, they've got to go for it to try and get back in the game, but they could easily end up losing this by 4 or 5 goals to 1.
Yeah, and you mentioned the Dutch not necessarily guaranteed of going to the European Championships. Neither Italy really. You know, the reigning champions might not be there to defend their title. They've got a tricky situation in Group C with England 100%, 3 wins from 3. Italy lost to England, of course, and then beat Malta away. So they've got 3 points from the minnows of the group, but Ukraine are looking pretty ominous as well. North Macedonia are no mugs. That's going to be a real scrap for those 2 automatic places from Group C.
Yeah, Ukraine, I think they came from 2-0 down to beat North Macedonia the other night, 3-2 away from home. So yeah, it's guaranteed for Italy or the Netherlands, although...
I mean, Mancini as well, for all the good he did in winning the European Championships, they failed to qualify for the World Cup. They might get 3rd place in the Nations League. Is that going to save any face? I mean, he's not got the players to work with, has he? But if they don't make it to the Euros, I think that'll be him gone. Yeah,
it would be a real... I mean, missing the World Cup's one thing, but the Euros with 24 places available, that is another. Both these sides will have a Nations League playoff potentially to fall back on as well. So they should both make it, but it's certainly not been great from either so far in qualifying. The Dutch looking to work their way back into this game. 11 minutes plus stoppage time. It's the Netherlands 1, Italy 3. Dutch work it with Ake down the left-hand side, supported by the newly introduced 𝓤𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, who lifts across into the box. Not really dealt with, comes to the edge of the area, shot comes in, that's blocked away. It's a poor ball out to the right-hand side, which will squirm away from the intended target. 𝓤𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 now to play for an Italy throw-in. But the Nations League final is available on this service a little later as well. Croatia and Spain, the 2 going for glory. That one kicks off at 7:45. Two teams that beat these 2 to make it through to the final. Van Dijk there for the Dutch, rolls the ball forward to Joey Veerman. Like replacement in the middle of the park for 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, and he rolls it out to 𝓤𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓼 on the right-hand side. Dutch just trying to reignite themselves, build up a head of steam for potentially a grandstand finish in this 3rd place playoff. Ake, though, that's a poor ball forward, cut out by 𝓤𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓼, who equally presents it straight back to Nathan Ake, who steps in field, looks to link up with Gakpo. Gakpo into Wijnaldum. Was he fouled on the edge of the area? Yes, says the referee. Italy protest. This is a free kick in a dangerous situation.
Well, it's the umpteenth foul by an Italian player that goes unpunished with, well, it's a free kick, but no yellow card. And the only yellow card the referee's given is for time wasting. You know, I mean, I said they were hot on time wasting. And guess what? Well, it's not Verratti this time. He's near the situation, but it's Zaniolo who's back there. Somebody sticks a leg out, brings him down. Might be Chiesa. And, yeah, the referee just gives free kick and no yellow card.
Yeah, Chiesa just clipping the heels of Gini Wijnaldum. May have got something on the ball, which is possibly what he's protesting towards the referee, but he's coming from behind, and he did go through Wijnaldum slightly, so free kick given. Free kick in the first half in a very similar position, the Dutch, right in the centre, just outside the D of the penalty area. Noah Lang very tamely hit that one into the wall. It's well Weghorst and Joey Veerman standing over this ball. Veerman's set-piece taking his life, but I would say Weghorst is renowned for striking dead balls from 25 yards out, and I think he is now walking away from the ball. And join as well. Veerman would be the right-footed option. Italy have got the draft excluder in 𝓤𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 lying behind what is a 5-man wall. Very happy that they're 10 yards back. Dutch step up, it will be the left-footed option, drilled straight into the wall, and it breaks the way of Weghorst, who turns the ball into the back of the net. And the Dutch are, with 8 minutes plus stoppage time left to play, right back in this 3rd place playoff once again.
Yeah, not quite the same free kick that got them back into the game against Argentina at the World Cup, that clever free kick where Weghorst was played in for the finish, but he's anticipated the direction of the ball from the blocked free kick really well. He's offside, though. Oh no, because there's a draft excluder playing him on. I didn't see the draft excluder.
It still might be his left shoulder or his left ankle just playing him off. There will be a VAR check. I suppose it depends who the deflection strikes against as well from the initial free kick that was blocked. Wijnaldum may have been the one who got the last touch, which could make him offside. There, Weghorst. It's a tight one. You can't even really see Frattesi when he's standing in front of him, Weghorst, because he's lying down. So I'm not sure what angle VAR will have to check this definitively, but it is being checked. Weghorst and co watching on nervously from a neutral point of view. This would really set up a grandstand finish. Italy will be hoping that the goal is chalked off, though. definitely see another replay. We've not really been getting great replays once the VAR check is ongoing, but yeah, this is going to be huge in terms of the final 10 minutes or so of the game.
Yeah, I think the draft excluder should be rolling over there in that position to push up and catch 𝓳𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 offside. It's poor from 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 that he's not spotted the opportunity to, roll and catch 𝓳𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 offside. I don't know.
I mean, he's definitely offside, 𝓳𝓱𝓪𝓷, if the deflection comes off wijnaldum, or if it was, I think, one of the Italian defenders, which is very difficult to see as well. It's going to be very hard, actually, to conclusively know on this one. Offsides, we're told, should be black and white, but there's a few grey areas to this one, and it's no surprise that this is taking a while to decide. And again, the referee is fielding questions. It must feel like an eternity for a referee when they're standing there. Yeah. Can't do anything about it, and they're just waiting for the VAR team to make a decision as the signal now goes up.
Offside.
Offside. The goal will not stand. It remains the Netherlands 1, Italy 3, and potentially that was the Dutch's last, or one of their last opportunities to get themselves right back into the game.
Yeah, what a shame for 𝓳𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. That's what he's on the pitch for. I mean, yeah, it takes the deflection off wijnaldum, and that's the reason why. If it comes off an Italian boot, then he's okay, he's clear, and he scores. But this time it came off wijnaldum.
Yeah, it was Koopmeiners with the free kick that was pretty terrible in all truth, hit wijnaldum, and 𝓳𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 was there to capitalise, but from an offside position, as that goal being ruled out is going to spell at least a couple of Italian changes. Marco Verratti is coming off. Barella is going to replace him in the middle of the park. Pellegrini is also waiting to come on for Roberto Mancini's side. So Nicola Barella, another one of the Inter Milan contingent, enters the fray. And on is Lorenzo Pellegrini, and he is replacing Retegui, who worked hard up there, was involved in the first half, but has had very little to feed off in this second.
Yeah, I mean, just too isolated, really. And yeah, I think there's a player there in Retegui. He looks sort of a little bit Forlan-esque in the way he makes his runs and the way he can sniff a goal out and certainly cause issues in the box. But when it came to one-on-one stuff, Van Dijk has just eaten him up in the second half. When he's been so isolated, he's had no support around him. Van Dijk has defended him very well one-on-one. He's been a non-factor.
Yeah, he doesn't quite have the turn of pace, does he, to get away from certainly defenders of the calibre of Virgil van Dijk. Zaniolo or maybe Chiesa will lead the line now for Italy. They don't have an out-and-out number 9 out there, with Retegui replaced. Pellegrini and Barella, the two players coming on, are very much midfielders. 𝓳𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 has been penalised for a foul. We've got 4 minutes plus stoppage time remaining of this third place playoff. We're bringing you independent off-tube studio commentary. It's Netherlands 1, Italy 3. Italy just about there in terms of picking up their bronze medal. He's breaking forward down the left-hand side there because Pellegrini's up a bit of a cul-de-sac, loses possession and has stayed down. There's not too much sympathy coming from the referee at the moment. In fact, was that Giorno, the number 23, actually, who's gone down over on that left-hand side? It looked like the number 23 on his back. He's still down for the time being, and eventually the referee stops play, an offside flag, and that will allow the treatment to be received. It is the 23. I'm not sure why Bjorn Giorno was in the left wing position at that moment.
No. I mean, he didn't panic though, did he? Because, for a defender in that situation, they can get a little bit lost and lose their sort of bearings, but he's done the right thing. He recognised there was no real, he could nobody to pass to, so what he tried to do was try and bustle his way past the defender, win a free kick, and he's got something for his team there.
Yeah, he's at least receiving the treatment now that will help Italy run down the clock. He kind of runs into the shoulder of 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, so by the looks of 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, that's a pretty strong shoulder that Bjorn Giorno's ran into, so he might be a little bit shaken up. Dumfries sportingly checking to see if the Italian debutant is okay. He should be all right to continue, although you can never be too careful with head injuries. He's going to have to come off anyway initially before he's allowed back onto the field of play, but just over 2 minutes plus stoppage time remaining in this game. Time is very much running out for Ronald Koeman and the Netherlands, and very disappointing for the Dutch if they do go on and lose this game. Not only finishing 4th out of 4 in these Nations League finals, but being on home turf as well, to lose both games would be disappointing to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, the bigger picture is that it's it's all about getting plans in place for next summer, and adding experience, looking at players, and I think Ronald Koeman's selections in these 2 games have been a little bit experimental. So he's got that get-out clause that they haven't necessarily been going all out for the victory. They've been looking to experiment and build for the future as well. But whether the media, the fans will accept that, I don't know. He's got a grace period here, Koeman, I suppose, because he's recently into the job. And if this had been a couple of years down the line, and I think he would have probably played more sort of respected teams.
Veerman plays the ball into the feet, and there's a real opportunity, and the ball is lashed into the roof of the net by 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Veerman, the debutant, with the clever assist, the disguised ball into the area, and Wijnaldum touch and finish into the roof of Gianluigi Donnarumma's goal, and maybe there is still time for the Dutch in this third place playoff.
Yeah, good finish from Wijnaldum. He's been sort of almost dragged back by the neck by Verratti as he finishes that off, but he goes high, gives the keeper no chance. By lifting it like that, even 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 tries to stick an arm up. Even Donnarumma tries to stick an arm up, can't keep it out. So yeah, the game is still in the balance here. Good chance for the Dutch here with a couple of minutes plus a lot of stoppage time again to go to grab an equaliser.
Yeah, it's going to be. We had 6 in the first half, at least that, probably more in the second. So there is still plenty of time for the Dutch. Again, checking the goal, but there's really too much debate about that one, and it does stand 10 seconds or so away from finding out what will be added on for stoppages. It's the Netherlands 2, Italy 3, and we suspected at the start of the piece that this might be quite entertaining, and hopefully we get a few goals, and that has proved to be the case. 5 and counting, with the stoppage time is revealed. Still 9 minutes left to play.
Yeah, 9 minutes. I mean, a lot can happen in 9 minutes. Italy probably thought they'd won it at 3-1. That was the key goal, wasn't it? The Chiesa goal. You think they've killed off any comeback. Here's another chance, though, for Italy.
Yeah, ball fizzed into the area by Chiesa. Doesn't find anyone in white, but it will come to the far side where 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 will pick it up. Italy will try and keep hold of the ball, but 9 minutes of stoppage time means they are still a long way out from the finish, and they're pressed all the way back to their goalkeeper Donnarumma, who doesn't really help matters with a skewed ball forward. Ake will win it in the air, and that should be a free kick given there against the Dutch player, maybe a handball in the control from Cody Gakpo. So it'll be a free kick to Italy on the halfway line. There's a renewed vigour about the Dutch once again. I mean, balance of play, you'd probably say the Dutch would deserve to get themselves back into the contest, because we've seen so much of the ball. They've dictated things in this second half, but it would be a surprise after being 2 goals down so late if they were able to do it.
Yeah, I think that bizarre. I mean, the team that is finishing the game is much more cohesive and looks much better than the team that Koeman started the game with. So Koeman's made mistakes, with his selection in this game, but the second half performance, you'd say the Dutch do deserve something from it. I think also maybe taking off Dimarco was a mistake from Mancini. He was the outstanding player in the first half. There's more space for him to operate in. If they'd stayed a little bit positive, Dimarco could have made a big difference in killing this game off in the second period.
Freeze for the cross for the Dutch, headed towards goal, but no real power on that from Wijnaldum. A comfortable claim for Donnarumma. The referee did issue a yellow card in and amongst that period of play for a bit of time wasting, and it's Nicolo Barella who has picked that up. So joining Dimarco in the referee's notebook. But still time for the Netherlands to force even more time in terms of extra time and penalties. This game delicately poised. Netherlands 2, Italy 3. Italy looking to get hold of possession. Pellegrini, Barella, he loses the ball low. The Dutch try and break forward, but it's pinched back, and it's very scrappy in the middle of the park. There'll be tired legs out there as well, of course, and that's not the best defending from Cherby. He's had his pocket picked there by Koopmeiners, who tries to tee up Bergwijn. Cherby atones with a brilliant sliding challenge. Needed to get that one right. Now Italy can look to break themselves, and they do have bodies forward in white. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on 2 at the moment. Can they pick the right pass? Chiesa towards the edge of the area, rolls it across the right hand side. Barella plays the ball back. Oh no, what a terrible finish. That is a slip as he swung his leg at the ball. Was that Frattesi?
No.
It might be Pellegrini, is it?
Yeah, Pellegrini.
Yeah, Pellegrini. Ball pulled back to him. All the goal to aim at, and almost hits the ball against his standing foot and sends it wide.
They were queuing up, weren't they? 5-on-2. You've got to score a 5-on-2, haven't you, really? And the fact they didn't, just gives the Dutch even more encouragement now. They could rescue this with a few minutes to go.
Yeah, Italy missing a golden opportunity to wrap up third place in the Nations League as the Dutch come forward once again. It's Wijnaldum becoming more and more influential. Veerman, who's had a good game since coming on, lifts the ball into the penalty area, headed away by Spinazzola. It'll come back though to Joey Veerman. Out to Bergwijn, right-hand side, stands the ball up, looking towards Weghorst, who gets his head to the ball, looking to find a teammate, but Donnarumma is there, jumping out, claims possession of the ball, and there's a bit of a flare-up now, actually, involving Wout Weghorst and one or two of the Italian players, something for the referee to have to sort out. He's got his cards out, Glenn Nyland, he's issued one yellow card, I think, to 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Weghorst as well has also picked up a caution, so tempers flaring at the end of this game, and it just shows that, in a lot of ways this is a glorified friendly, but there's still pride. The teams still want to win this, and you can see that in the determination of both teams. Yeah,
absolutely. I'm surprised, genuinely surprised that there is that much passion and intensity out there in this game, because it is really just a glorified friendly. But the Italians, they don't want to get beat, do they? They really are using all their experience and everything they've got to try and stop the Dutch with this momentum they've got to go on and win the game.
I suppose it's the last game before the summer break after a long on a positive note, as Italy looking to come forward. Zaniolo trying to roll away from the challenge of De Jong, who then brings down Chiesa, trying to pinch the ball back. He initially did well there, Frenkie De Jong, against Zaniolo, but he's brought Chiesa down. Free kick to Italy in a dangerous position, and another opportunity for them to look to run down the clock. I think they will try and strike this towards
the Dutch need to, get back to the width they had. A lot of it's coming down the middle. The Italians are quite comfortable defending down the middle, so the Dutch have got to get back to using that width. Gakpo on the left, Bergwijn particularly, who's offered a lot of good options down the right.
This may be a case as Pellegrini lines up the free kick for Italy. Roberto Mancini might want him to find the top corner of the net or the top corner of the stand. As he steps up Pellegrini, it does go over the top of the crossbar. Took a deflection on the way through, so it will be a corner. That will help Italy run the clock down all the more. Just over 3 minutes of stoppage time remaining. They're just about there, the Italians, as they look to secure the third place. And should we say they're not quite in a rush to get on with taking this corner?
The referees are so hot on time wasting now, aren't they? And this is a directive. This is the right thing. Time wasting has gone on far too long and been allowed to sort of go on in these sort of situations, and the referee's actually hurrying. He actually pushed the Italian over towards the corner flag there.
Yeah, we want to see the game being played. We don't want this gamesmanship. We want the ball in play as often as it can be, but it's universal. Teams leading, no matter who they are, they're always going to look to waste time and run down the clock. It's human nature in a lot of ways. 𝓤𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 certainly doesn't want to waste time taking this goal kick for the Dutch, and he quickly plays it to De Jong and offers himself as a return pass, but De Jong has stepped away from the challenge of Zaniolo, gets a free kick which he'll now take about 10 yards away from the incident. He'll lift that ball forward, looking, you'd imagine, for the head of Van Dijk, who's gone forward now for these final few minutes. We've seen that happen before, but him forward, that'll leave more gaps at the back for Italy if they want to potentially try and exploit. But the Dutch with 𝓤𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 send the long ball forward. It will break off the head of 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 out to the left-hand side with Cody Gakpo. He goes into Veerman. Veerman stands the ball into the penalty area. Should be Donnarumma's, and he claims effectively can run down a bit more of the clock once again.
Yeah. You can talk about total football and the Dutch style all you want, but when it comes down to it, when they're chasing the game,
knocked down. There's no one there in orange though, and Italy should be able to clear 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, clipping the ball forward to Zaniolo, who needs to try and hold on to this from an Italian point of view. He's done well. He draws the free kick from 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, and that might just about get Italy home.
I think so, yeah. I mean, a bit handsy, isn't he, there, the defender in the box, as 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 was challenging. Don't think there's a foul there, though. I think that's okay. Was it 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, was it, who was in there just jostling for the ball with 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷. And yeah, they eventually cleared, so I think the Dutch are not going to find that equaliser in the end.
That's a really poor free kick given away by Italy, and it might just give the Dutch one last opportunity. Has to be quick though. Ake's ball forward, cut out by Pellegrini. Gakpo fighting for possession with Barella. Pellegrini comes in with a challenge, but there's a free kick being given away. We've gone over the 9 minutes of stoppage time. It's now or never for the Dutch. This free kick on the halfway line. It's just going to be lifted into the penalty area now. It's not a great ball forward. Italy clear it away. Is that just about that? The Italians certainly want the referee to blow his final whistle. Milo plays it forward. Veerman out towards De Jong, changing the angle. De Jong has to lift this into the area. He does. Stands it up towards the edge of the box. 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷 the target. Flicked on by him. Hook clear by 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. The referee again allows play to continue. Zaniolo's actually onside, but the bouncing ball wouldn't drop for him, and Dutch were able to get back on the cover. Bijlo will now launch another long ball forward, looking towards Virgil van Dijk. It's headed clear by Acerbi, lifted back in by De Jong. Still we play on. Ake's knockdown. It's a good knockdown. Drops effort on the volley from Koopmeiners. Is blocked behind by 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷, and there is still time for this Dutch corner.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good flick by Nathan Ake, and Koopmeiners has just lashed his left foot at it, come off the boot of the defender. And yeah, I mean, the keeper's been sent up now. Bijlo is in the penalty area.
We're into the 101st minute of this third place playoff. Koopmeiners with the cross into the box. It's headed clear, comes to the edge of the area, and now the referee does blow the full-time whistle, and Italy do secure third place in this UEFA Nations League. They've held on just about in the end. The full-time score, the Netherlands 2, Italy 3.
What happens into this one? UEFA Nations League. Very important match.
Has to lift this into the area. He does. Stands it up towards the edge of the box. 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 the target. Flicked on by him. Hook clear by 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷. The referee again allows play to continue. Zaniolo's actually onside, but drops effort on the volley from Koopmeiners. Is blocked behind by 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷, and there is still time for this Dutch corner.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good flick by Nathan Ake, and Koopmeiners has just lashed his left foot at it, come off the boot of the defender. And yeah, I mean, the keeper's been sent up now.